Hello and welcome to the very first episode, hopefully of many more, of a brand new podcast series called AnimEH, which is our Canadian flair to anime. This is one of probably 0 Canadian anime podcasts that exist on the internet. So hopefully this finds its audience and becomes its own thing. We are here to discuss recent anime shows that we have watched. The format of this show is going to be very simple. We're going to do it per season of anime. So that for the seasons, we're talking spring, summer, fall, and winter seasons. This is just going to be a simple, casual chat. We're going to be talking about anime that we watched during that individual season, what we liked, what we didn't like, and then our recommendations at the end. My name is Justin Ashley. Joining me is Johnny Liscombe. Say hello, Johnny.
Hello.
John, are you excited for this?
Oh, I'm very excited for this.
We've been talking about this for, what, a year plus? Doing an anime podcast?
About a year, yeah.
I mean, originally we talked about doing like a specific One Piece version of this podcast, and that still might come to pass, but I mean, I think finally we're getting on the mics.
Yeah, it's about time.
Yeah. Is this your first time on a podcast?
It is.
Yeah. What do you think of the setup here at Two Name Media?
Oh, it is quite impressive.
It's something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something. Just don't get married and don't have children, and you can have all this. Yeah. I mean, it's not asking, to me, it's a small sacrifice, right? To have this really cool studio that we're in here right now recording in. So we're going to keep this very casual, very straightforward. We're going to go back and forth, and we're just going to talk about anime that we've both watched. This episode is going to be spring edition. So this is 2023 spring edition. So we have already missed the winter.
Yes.
And when we're talking spring edition, we're specifically referring to end of March to end of June. End of March to end of June. That's what I have written down here as a spring edition. So I guess that's the spring edition. Yeah, because winter is like near the end of December. It's like mid-December to roughly mid-March, end of March. So we've kind of already missed the winter portion of the year, but it's fine. We got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, to me, it makes more sense to go spring, summer, fall, winter. It's like we go from the nice warm weather to the hot weather into the cold, bitter, sad and lonely fall and winter.
Yeah.
Yeah. The year just gets more and more depressing. So, John, I think you have way more anime on your list than I do.
Just a couple.
Yeah. How many do you have? I've got 4 shows to talk about.
6.
Okay, so not too much more. I think before we get into the individual shows, we should probably talk a little bit about the kind of anime viewers we are. I am, without a doubt, the snob out of the two of us. I would say I have much stricter tastes. I'm very picky about the type of anime that I watch and that I have in my personal collection. You know, I'm a bit of a film snob in general, and that definitely extends into the anime genre as well. I prefer old school animation. I like the hand drawn stuff. I like Golden Age, so we're talking like 80s, 90s, early 2000s. I do not like shonen anime for the most part, with one major exception, which is Dragon Ball. But I have nostalgia for that show, so it kind of gets a pass. If I was to try to watch it now, I would not get into it. I will be honest about that. But mostly, I like the seinen. I like serious anime. I like anime for adults.
Yeah.
I'm not really into the goofy stuff, and I'm not really into the shonen stuff. You are kind of the exact opposite, though. You're more open to things that I'm not open to.
Quite literally the opposite. I dabble in a bit of everything.
Right, and you have an actual subscription service, right?
Yes.
Which I don't have. All of my anime viewing is 100% illegal and pirated. I mean, I'll be honest about that. That's where I watch all that stuff. Whereas what do you have?
I use Crunchyroll.
Yeah, and you find Crunchyroll it has all the content you need on there?
Yeah. No, I've got far more anime in my watch list than I will ever get to.
And you had Crunchyroll and Funimation at one point, did you not?
Yes, I did.
Can you explain what the heck happened with that? Because I don't understand.
My understanding of it is Sony acquired them both.
Okay.
And Funimation is kind of slowly merging into Crunchyroll.
Okay. All right. And so do you find pretty much everything you need is on there?
More or less, yeah.
Okay. Is there anything that you've like got annoyed that like does Netflix even have a fucking leg in this race anymore? Is Netflix even
Well,
it blows my mind every once in a while I'm on Netflix and I'm like, oh fuck, there's Cowboy Bebop. But is that also on Crunchyroll? This is where I get confused.
I don't believe it is.
Oh, okay. So Netflix does have some exclusive shit.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that.
I mean, Disney Plus as well.
What the fuck do they have?
Bleach and the 1,000-Year Blood War.
Really?
Yeah.
They somehow ran. How the hell did Disney Plus get that, but Crunchyroll didn't get that?
Well, they're trying to snag all the,
like newer shit?
Yeah, basically the popular titles.
Okay, folks, just do what I do. Just find some legal streaming sites and watch whatever the fuck you want. I use Anime9, works great. Or do what Johnny does and have a bunch of different subscriptions and go that way. How much is Crunchyroll, by the way?
I think it's about $10 a month.
Okay, that's actually pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
All right, never mind. Support the industry. Forget what I'm saying. Okay, Johnny, what do you got? What are we doing here? First anime on your list.
All right, let's see.
And just so you know, there might be some crossover on our lists. We did not talk to each other about at all. This is the first time we talked in months. No, we have not talked to each other about what we've watched per se, with the exception of a couple shows. We've kind of kept this a little secretive, so I genuinely don't know what you have on the list, except for a few shows. But there is some crossover. We didn't make we didn't make a list of like, here's the shit you're gonna watch, here's the shit I'm gonna watch. These lists are 100% the shows that we wanted to watch and give a chance. So that's like, no, we didn't. How did you come up with your list? You just were scrolling through and found shit that you thought was interesting.
Yeah, I read the descriptions, and if I felt like adding it to the watch list, I threw it in and got to it.
That's literally exactly what I did too. Yeah, that's exactly how I made my list as well. Is I just would look at lists and was like, all right, this seems like it might be interesting. You know, this may, whatever I thought whatever I thought I would enjoy or I thought would be worth watching, it went onto the list.
Yeah.
But I definitely didn't go off of like, these are the top animes. Okay, I have to make sure I'm going to watch every single one of these. I don't follow that shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're trying to make the list. We can't follow one.
Right, exactly. This is our own thing. Yeah. So we can't just watch what everybody else says this is the shit you got to watch, right? So,
yeah.
Okay, what do you got? Number one, what do you got?
Well, I might as well start with Demon Slayer and the Swordsmith Village arc.
Okay, this is gonna be this. See, this is a perfect example of the difference between our tastes, because I have watched all of maybe 2 episodes of Demon Slayer.
Yeah, that's a good start.
And it just didn't. I don't like shonen anime for the most part. I just find it too formulaic. Once you know the formula, like the power escalation formula, it becomes very hard to get into newer shonen shit. I'm sure 90% of people watching this just tuned out from me saying that. So I will allow you to keep talking here, and pardon my interruption.
So for anybody that follows Demon Slayer, there's not really much for me to sum up. It's about Tanjiro, who came home one day to most of his family being murdered by a demon. And the only exception was his sister Nezuko, who is now a demon. So the whole premise is essentially him trying to cure her and help her become human again.
And that's the part I've seen. I've seen up to like episode 2.
Yeah.
So I saw like his family gets killed and Nezuko gets infected, the sister, the one that always has like the bar in her mouth.
Yeah.
And then she's like, he's trying to get her under control, but she's like infected, but he's like trying to, tame her, I guess is the way to put it.
Essentially.
And then some jackass showed up and then I stopped watching. I don't know. Who was the jackass?
Oh, that'd be Tomioka.
Yes. Yeah, okay. I definitely wouldn't have got. I don't even know who that character is. Okay, and then what? So then what happens post that? I guess just brief synopsis.
So, let's see.
Like he tries to cure his sister. So then what does that lead him into?
He ends up joining the Demon Slayer Corps.
Okay, so it's like
Little odd, a Demon Slayer running around with a demon. She can't go in the sunlight, so she travels in a box on his back.
I've seen that. Yeah, and I've seen the Funko Pop of that and the figure of that. Yeah.
So along the series, we're following his growth as a Demon Slayer.
Right.
And he sort of works his way up the ranks, the demons that he's killing.
And he befriends several of the actual other Demon Slayers, right? Like there's like Zenitsu and
Inosuke.
Inosuke, right?
Yeah.
Inosuke, the boar head guy.
Yep.
So I know some shit. Folks, I own a collectibles store and I sell a fuckload of Funko Pops and figures, so you learn the names real quick so that you know what people are actually asking for. So they're like, he befriends them. And then also Gyu, right?
Yeah,
Is he part of the Demon Slayer Corps?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm also going to be asking questions for my own knowledge, my selfish knowledge to use later in the store, so I know what I'm talking about. So he meets the Demon Slayer Corps, and he makes some friends along the way with them, and then what's like I don't even know what the first arc is. So because you're on, what arc are you on?
I'm on the Swordsmith Village, so the most recent.
Which is season
3, but I mean, Mugen Train was technically a season, so really I'd call it season 4.
See, this is where it's getting really fucking confusing for me now, because I noticed on the Blu-ray box sets we started getting them in, and now a lot of shows, they don't say seasons, they say arcs.
Yeah.
I don't like this. Just stick to seasons.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It just gets so confusing.
See, I personally thought it was kind of cool. They did Mugen Train, but they did it as a movie.
Which I've had come in, yeah.
Yeah. So these, like, the movies that don't really mean anything to the series, they're cool.
Yeah.
They really are. But they mean nothing to the story.
Right.
So they introduced a movie that you've actually got to watch to understand the following season.
And that's not Mugen Train, or that is Mugen Train?
That is Mugen Train.
Oh, that is Mugen. Is it Mugen or Mugen? It's Mugen, folks.
It
it's
is
officially, you heard it for here. You heard it here first. The proper pronunciation is Mugen. That's coming from 2 Canadian guys, so that's got to be 100% right. Yeah. We would be the authority on how to properly pronounce Japanese words. Yeah. So Mugen Train is the what season?
That's technically season 2.
So it's like 2.5 or something?
It's like 1.5.
Oh, it's 1.5. Okay.
Because after that, we go into the entertainment district, and then we follow it up with the Swordsmith Village arc.
Okay. And so, sorry, folks, I did not get into Demon Slayer, so I'm going to be asking questions about the plot. This is going to drive most of you nuts, but maybe not all of you have watched Demon Slayer, so perhaps Johnny explaining the show will actually interest some new viewers here. So it's important to ask questions. So the basic premise is brother trying to cure his sister, and then he meets a clan of actual demon slayers, and I'm assuming he uses them to try to find a cure for her.
Well, he had to convince them to not kill her first.
Makes sense.
Through some twist of fate, she is a, I'll say peaceful demon.
Well, I think I maybe got to the part where she kind of chilled out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess her love for her brother mellowed out her demonic heart.
Somehow able to override
Through
her.
the power of shonen.
Yeah, correct. Through the power of plot, she was able to somehow override her natural demonic instincts.
Yeah.
Right. That sounds about right. Yeah.
So she does not eat humans.
Yep.
And once they had convinced the Hashira, or the higher-ups of the Demon Slayer Corps of that, they were pretty well cool with her running around with him.
Okay. And then, so then what becomes the main conflict then? So like, because the conflict starts as him trying to cure her, so then what does it turn into?
So they're looking for, like, head honcho demon. That's Muzan. Don't murder me for
bring this up
the last name here.
It's
Kibotsuchi.
I can't even believe you took a stab at that. Kimonsuji. That's this cocky looking fuck here
Yes,
with the white
the
hat.
Michael Jackson looking gentleman.
You're
here.
right. He actually does look like Michael Jackson in like Smooth Criminal. That's fucking amazing. I'm actually gonna look up. Yeah, I guess. I guess. I guess a lot of people saw this similarity here.
100%.
Yeah, I mean it's
everywhere.
undeniable. Yeah, it's undeniable. Really. Yeah, no, that's literally like Michael Jackson. That's amazing.
I mean, I actually saw a guy at Anime North that did the cosplay, but he did it with Michael Jackson's sparkly gloves.
So, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So it's like it's like Muzan Jackson or something.
Yeah, exactly.
That's amazing. Okay, so this guy is like the head.
But he is literally Daddy Demon.
So he's the most powerful demon.
Yes.
Okay.
He is the creator of the demons.
Okay, and I've seen the Funko Pop of this guy before, so I knew he was a bad guy just from people telling me.
Yeah.
Okay, so they have to find him. What do they need him for? Because he's the only one that can somehow undo Nezuko's problem.
So that part, write me if I'm wrong. I may have missed it, but I don't believe they've covered what exactly they can gain from finding him.
Okay.
Now, if my memory serves me right, it is that they're trying to find him to just do away with him.
Oh, is it one of those things where it's like if they kill him, then
I believe that's the theory, yeah.
okay.
So essentially right now they are trying to get blood from the upper moon, or the upper rank demons as they call them.
Yep.
To sort of engineer a cure.
Okay.
Because the fact that they have a peaceful demon, they believe that with her blood and the blood of Daddy Demon, they could engineer a cure for demonism, I'll call it.
Okay. Demonism.
Yes.
That's an actual, yep. I had that before in my teenage years.
Yeah,
Demonism.
once or twice.
Yeah, we all have a demon phase at some point. Yeah. Demonism. That's an official medical term.
Yep.
That's a real medical term. Yeah. The Catholic Church knows all about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so then what is special about the newest arc?
So this arc, they go to the Swordsmith village because once again, Tanjiro has managed to lose/break his sword.
Okay.
So he's got to go there because his blacksmith, or swordsmith rather, is quite fed up with him breaking the swords.
Okay.
So he's going to have another one forged. But I guess in a way he's kind of got to earn it.
Okay.
I guess it was more so to like apologize for one and beg him to forge a new sword.
So is his swordsmith in this actual village?
Yes, he is.
Oh, okay. So he has to. So he basically goes to this village like begging. I'm assuming he just broke his sword from the previous big bad he killed at the end of the last season.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah. Or the last movie, or was
it was season? Yeah.
Okay, season. Yeah. And okay, so he comes shattered sword, needs a new one because otherwise he's useless fighting demons.
Yeah. So he had to be blindfolded and guided by, I don't remember the exact number, but it was like 6 to 12 individuals. They would travel so far with him, hand him off to the next person, and that person would take him to the next person to essentially checkpoints to make it to this village because it's very secret.
Oh, okay. All right. But has he been there before?
Never.
Oh, okay. So then who the hell made his sword before?
Well, the same guy, but it was delivered to him.
Okay, so he just got this sword, and then now he's like, oh, fuck, I got to go find the guy who made the damn thing to try to get him to fix it.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
It was kind of like being invited to the village.
I get you. Now I get it. I thought he knew who the guy was. Like I thought the swordsmith might have been like a not returning character. What's the word I'm looking for? You know, a character that constantly shows up. Reoccurring.
Yes.
A reoccurring character like the swordsmith in Inuyasha.
Yes.
Or I don't know if you would get that reference.
Not quite.
Okay, that's fine.
I haven't watched a lot of it.
Or some anime, or there's like the gunsmith in Trigun. Sometimes there's like the guy that fixes the main guy's weapons, and that's a recurring character. There's like Berserk had one too, where there's like a badass guy, and he's always fixing Guts' sword.
Yeah,
that's a trope. Anyways, continue.
So the whole idea of this arc is he goes to the village to have his sword reforged.
Right.
Again.
Right.
Somehow, demons find the village.
Okay.
So now it's essentially the whole arc is defending the Swordsmith village from these demons.
How many episodes is this?
It's only 12. Or,
Okay.
sorry, it might have been 11.
Oh, well, so it's like the current animes now, where they're like 11 to 13.
Yeah.
They're shorter.
They're
now.
short arcs.
Yeah, they've shorter, which I'm a fan of personally. It's like, give me quality over quantity any day.
No filler.
So it's all just every episode has purpose.
Pure story, yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, he goes to the village to have his sword reforged, winds up having to fight demons. Not one, but 2 upper rank demons. And he's there with 2 Hashira and Giyu.
Okay, so Gyu's in this. Yeah.
And then we don't see our other favorites, Zenitsu or Inosuke.
Okay, they're not in this arc at all?
Not in this arc.
Oh, interesting. Bold. Who are the other guys he's with?
Let's see.
So it's not Giyu. Or sorry, Giyu's there, but there's 2 other guys?
Yeah, well...
Is one of them the
girl.
butterfly chick?
No.
Okay. I only know this from the Funko Pops. That's my reference.
I am
I'm like,
terrible with the names of the Hashira.
that's all right. You can describe what they look like, and I can probably get it from the Funko
The
Pops.
Love Hashira.
Oh, is that the pink and green hair
Yes.
chick? Let me look this up. Demon Slayer, pink hair. This chick.
Yes, her.
Yeah.
Mitsuru.
Mitsuri Kenroji.
Yes.
Yes. I know her from the Funko Pop. Yeah.
And then the Mist Hashira.
That's not the butterfly chick.
No.
That's like,
He's
oh, he. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know who the hell this guy is. He must not have a Funko Pop.
I can't remember.
Well,
his
let me look
name.
it up. You said Mist?
Yes.
Demon Slayer, Mist. Oh,
Tokito. That's it.
yeah, he does not have a Funko Pop yet. I think there's one coming out soon. It's funny how I have to refer to the world as, like, I have to relate it to Funko Pops.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you don't know the characters, Pops are great for that.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's also there. So they give other, like, Demon Slayers, like, a chance to shine, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
I mean, so far it seems like every season is having it, or arc rather, is having a different Hashira showcased.
Okay.
This one just happened to bring out 2.
Okay. And so what did you like about this arc? Or I should say, I guess, what else is good? You said no filler, which is
A
good.
couple notes here, but the battle was incredible.
Like which battle? Like just in general?
The battle.
Oh, so that's so is that like half the season?
It's like the entire season.
Oh, fuck.
Like I think there are like 2 to 3 episodes of just like them getting to the village, like just relaxing, having a good time. And then it doesn't hesitate to go from like training immediately in to this amazing battle.
Okay.
And I mean, there are like smaller battles. I mean, they're short, don't really get showcased as much as the main fight.
The main,
throughout
like,
the arc.
defending the village.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So I've already covered it's almost entirely action.
Animation is good.
Oh, the animation's always good.
I'll say this. I'm not a fan of modern shonen shows, but hot damn, some of them be pretty.
Yeah.
Demon Slayer in particular has some really nice. I like they almost do like a painterly animation.
Yeah.
Like when they're like flames kind of look like paint. Like it doesn't like it like
it
flows.
Yeah.
It's I've seen some really cool videos from like clips from that show, and I concur.
And if you can't watch it for the story, watch it for the fight scenes.
Just watch for the eye candy.
Yeah. Another thing I like is they always do this thing with like sappy backstories for the characters to explain how either they became demon slayers or how the demons lived before they were demons.
This is like the tragic backstory.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, that trope.
And they always strike a chord, you know?
Yeah.
You really feel for them.
Well, I mean, hey, you got to make characters you actually are invested in, right?
Yeah.
So the easiest way to do it is to humanize them, even if they're
exactly.
demons, right?
But that part, it always hits you right in the feels.
Right.
I mean, you might not shed a tear, but you feel like you could.
So is there some good ones in this arc?
Yeah, there are a few good ones.
Yeah? Who did they get into the backstory of?
The Hashira.
Oh, specifically the mist dude and the pink and green haired chick?
Yes. Nope.
Pink and green haired girl?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. What was her name?
Mitsuri.
Pink Suri? Yeah, we're nobody's turning, and everybody who hasn't tuned out has tuned out now. People think we are insensitive
And
assholes.
start on a high note.
Right? Yeah. Start with us butchering the names of the characters. Yeah.
Yes.
Good start. Okay. So good backstories. What else? Anything else in particular stand out? So you liked it for the story. So it had good plot progression, good animation, just like some good plot development with some of the backstories of characters. Anything else of note?
Well, I won't spoil anything, but I will say
No,
that
I want to hear exactly how it ends.
I will tell you every detail.
Right.
But, no, the way they ended that arc was...
Muzan dies. No, I don't know.
Maybe not this arc, but...
Turns out Muzan wasn't the real big bad. Oh, I haven't even seen it. That's probably true.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
You have hit the nail on the head with
I
that
mean,
one.
that's how animes operate, is whoever was the big bad turns out wasn't the big bad.
No, they were just a puppet.
Right. Or there was somebody else that we weren't even aware of. There's some other guy and that guy's an even bigger badass. So that is the power creep problem with shonen. Sorry, I'm interrupting.
No, that's cool.
I gotta try to hold myself back on my shonen criticisms.
And, the conclusion was solid.
This was good. So it had a good ending.
I thought so.
And does it end on a cliffhanger?
I mean,
it kind of
ends
has to a little
at the
bit,
end
right?
of the district, right?
Right. So it's not really a cliffhanger. It's just more like our adventures continue.
Like that story did have a conclusion,
Makes sense.
but they did leave it open to continue it.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of has to, right? Because clearly Demon Slayer's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So, that was a season, right? It can't really... It's kind of pointless to end it on a cliffhanger, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else that you liked about it?
No, I think that about covers everything I liked.
Okay, now let's get into what you didn't like.
So, there's one thing about every season of Demon Slayer that bugs me quite a bit. It's the injuries.
What do you mean by injuries?
The crippling injuries that you can walk off. It's like, I'm going to use my recovery breathing to get up and fight a little longer. Like, dude, you just broke 6 ribs. What breathing are you doing?
Oh, yeah.
Could you teach it to me?
Oh, is that actually a thing that happens?
Well,
is that like...
specific injury isn't this arc, but
Yeah.
like, I won't go over his injuries.
No, but
I
get what you're saying. You're
Yeah,
saying characters are able to fight through nonsense injuries. Yeah.
It's like essentially like if you can batter your entire hand and still grip a sword.
It's a little nonsensical.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is they
Like,
go a little excessive
There are
with
limits.
it. Yeah.
I mean, like, that being said, I love the show.
So it kind of takes you out a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. Every time you see that, it's kind of like,
I know
really?
I know what you mean by that, because it's that fine line between realism and fantasy, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like if you're willing to accept a show about guys that can make their swords turn into fucking fire and ice dragons and shit like that, and there's demons that have fantastical abilities, so you accept that part, but at the same time there has to be limits to what... Like, there has to be rules, I guess is the way to put it. And the world needs to still feel real and grounded.
Yes.
I know exactly what you're talking about. And sometimes they go a little too stupid with it, and you go like, I feel like his body wouldn't be able to do that. You know, it's suspension of disbelief is what it's called. So it's basically like it takes you out of it because you go like, I have to call bullshit on that. I don't think... Even though I'm accepting all this other shit the world presents, you do need to deliver a little bit of realism.
yes.
You know? And that's tricky to do. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm going to jump back a little bit to something you said a minute ago there.
Absolutely do.
About the swords turning into fire.
Because the swords turn into fire.
So, I don't remember his name, but the creator of the series.
Okay.
He
will
has
look that up
actually
right now.
mentioned none of the flames, water, all of that you're seeing is real. That's purely there for visual effects, so you can kind of visualize their sword styles.
You're kidding.
No, I'm dead serious.
So that's why it's painterly. It's because it's not actually happening.
Yeah, it's just demonstrating the flow of their swords.
Even Gyu, who's got like the ridiculous like flame shit. Is that Gyu or is that water? Is Gyu water? Gyu's water.
Gyu Tomio. Yeah.
I think he's water. Okay. And I only know this from the Funko Pop. Okay, what's this guy's name? Oh, hold on a second here. Demon Slayer. Oh, yeah.
Well, you want to take a stab at pronouncing that?
Nope. Guy, go yo, shut. Goyoharo Kotoge? Goyoharo Kotoge. Gotoge. Koyohara Gotoge. It's a woman? Because you said he has said.
I very well could have.
Did you assume? Did
Yeah,
you
I
gender
did.
assume? You
I
were
did,
like,
I
oh, it was
did.
made by a dude.
No,
'cause
that
it's
is
so,
my bad.
so fucking cool, man. Right now, people are thinking we are insensitive fuckwads, but we're not insensitive because we are actually looking up. We're trying to clarify so that we're not wrong.
Is a woman.
Oh, it is a
There
woman.
you go.
Yeah. Wait, what? Okay, what the fuck? That being said, no official statement has been revealed either by the manga, I don't know what that is, or that states that Koyohara Gotoge is a woman. Thus, until and unless they reveal the same to the public, it has been assumed that they identify themselves as non-binary. Oh, okay. Oh, so this is turning into a whole other can of worms here.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, so apologies if we assumed gender, because it seems like we both assumed a gender there.
Yeah.
So apologies. So the creator said that all of the effects are not actually happening.
Yes.
That's interesting. So Tanjiro's not actually controlling like an ice dragon or a water dragon or whatever.
Not at all.
So there is not even a water dragon?
No.
I don't know that I like that. I want him to control water
It's
and
just
fire.
he's so cool with that sword.
So wait,
and
does
his
that mean that
aura.
none of the demon slayers actually have abilities? Like they
It's
don't really have
just sword
abilities?
techniques?
You're kidding.
No.
Really?
Yeah. Well,
What can the pink-haired girl do? What does she do? She just kisses everybody
well, I
to
mean,
death?
her sword is a whip.
Oh, okay.
Like
But that's what it
I
comes
don't
down
know
to?
how
So
that
they don't have
works.
abilities?
No,
That's
not
interesting.
really.
Okay, I just assumed they did.
Yeah.
Wow. But the demons have abilities, right? Like
Yeah.
they can do shit, right?
Blood demon arts. Yeah.
Blood demon arts. All right. That's another way of saying quirk, which is another way of saying skill, which is another way of saying shikai, which is another way of saying which is another way of saying Master Roshi taught me this technique.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. What else didn't you like? Anything?
I think that was it.
Wow, that's a very minor
just the,
criticism then. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Beautiful. On to me with my second one here. Okay. Or second one, I guess I should say. The first of my list, the second of both of our lists. Okay, I've got Hell's Paradise. You snapped your fingers and pointed.
Me too.
Okay, Hell's Paradise. We both got Hell's Paradise. Plot of Hell's Paradise. Oh, it's in feudal era Japan. And is it the shonen? Shogun,
Yes.
which is like, I don't want to be ignorant to Japanese like political structures, but I believe the shogun is like the top dog or one of the main presiding political powers in feudal Japan, something like that.
I believe so.
Yeah, I'm not going to look this up. But so the shogun takes all of the worst of the worst criminals, like the baddest of the baddest bad guys, and gives them one mission. They have to go off to a mysterious fantasy island that nobody knows really dick about, and find the elixir of life, which the elixir of life is it's the MacGuffin. It's the thing they got to find. And the shogun wants it for himself for selfish reasons, right? He just wants
eternal life.
Right. Because the elixir of life, as the name would suggest, grants you immortality if you procure it and drink it or whatever. They don't even know really what it is, what form it's in. And so far, anyone who has attempted to go to the island has come back as plant monsters, as like mindless plant monsters. So like the shogun previously, before they now had the idea to send the worst of the worst criminals, was sending the whatever their elite squad of guards were called. What were they called?
I don't recall.
Yeah, so they have an elite unit of like of the best executioners / like guards of the shogun, which they have. I don't remember what their group is called. I'll look it up after. And they tried sending some of these guys, and all of them came back dead, or in pieces, basically. Like not in pieces, in like they came back as like half like plant.
Yeah, literally as a boat full of flowers.
Literally, yeah, literally. And it's not even like they came back. It's like the boats they went on just happened to drift back.
Yeah.
So nobody knows what the fuck's going on this island. They just know that like whatever's on there is obviously bad. It's some kind of some sort of hell, if you will, is on this island. So then the shogun gets the idea to get the worst of the worst criminals, which that first episode is just hilarious.
Yeah.
The fucking rogues gallery of like all the random criminals, and it's like somebody just went wild with different ideas. It's like, all right, we've got the one guy who's missing an eye, and then another guy's missing an arm, and then there's one guy that's an old man, and then there's a hot chick that's a ninja, and
a literal giant.
I was gonna say, and then a literal giant. It's like it's just all over the board on the designs, right? It's somebody like obviously had fun creating all these unique villains.
Very diverse bunch of characters.
Very diverse. And then to add to the complications, so the mission that gets the offer that gets propositioned to the criminals is, if you go to this island, bring back the elixir of life, you'll be granted a pardon. So I'm assuming they were all locked up in prison, which I think is a bit farcical considering how powerful some of these people are. I don't know how they ever got caught, but yeah. I mean, that suspend your disbelief, whatever. At this point, they were all prisoners. And that's the basic plot of the show. The only other hitch that I should mention is the group of elite bodyguards. Each one of them gets paired with one of the criminals that goes to the island to make sure that the criminals aren't just fucking around and are actually trying to complete this mission. And also so the criminals don't just stay on the island and I guess never come back. Because, I mean, they could do that too. And I think even some of the criminals have that idea. So you've got a criminal paired up with like a more straight-laced, badass, like a samurai type.
An executioner.
They're called executioners, but they're basically like fancy samurai-esque characters is really what they are. They're samurai, yeah. That's the basic plot of the show. Yeah, what did you think? Just give me your basic what you thought while you're thinking about that. I gotta look up what the hell that group was called.
Episode 1 didn't quite get me.
How many episodes did you watch?
I think I'm on 7.
Oh, okay. So I finished the whole thing. So it's a good thing you just told me so I didn't start talking to you about the ending.
Yeah, I made it about 7 episodes in. But the first episode didn't really interest me. But
the first episode's a bit of a mess.
Yeah. I mean, the whole idea that this man literally cannot die was odd. I mean, would they boil him in oil? Like, lit him on fire, tried to cut off his head, broke a sword. Like, all of that was a bit much.
You're talking about the one guy's flashback, though, right? Is that what you're talking about?
No, when they went to him to talk about sending him to the island.
I didn't even remember this.
Yeah, she basically went to convince him that he doesn't want to die. Because the whole idea behind episode 1 was
right. I forgot about this. Yeah, I forgot about this. You're talking about Gabby Maru.
Yeah,
the main, the hollow, the main guy, the ninja guy. Yeah, I completely forgot about that. They are called the Yamada Asaman, the Yamada Asaman Executioner. Yamada Asaman, I'm assuming, is the name of the group. Yeah. They are the Yamada Asaman, a family of executioners. There it is right there. Yeah. Oop. Highlight it all. Yeah, the Yamada Asaman, which is just executioners that work for the government, essentially.
Yeah.
I completely forgot about what you just said. Like the whole background.
Yeah.
I watched the whole season. I did finish it. But I forgot about that. Yeah, it starts off with it. This is really a problem, I think, with the whole show, because now I've finished it. The pacing and the plot progression is all over the fucking place.
Yeah.
So it's like, it doesn't flow nicely. It's very janky on what it shows you. Like, I completely forgot about the background with Gabby Maru, where he's like, the shogunate keeps trying to kill him.
Yeah.
But they can't seem to manage to kill him, which immediately it sets the level of fantasy or fiction of this world is set very quickly in the show, where guys are able to literally turn their muscles into like stone by through some sort of training, because they try to behead Gabby Maru, the ninja guy, the main guy, the white-haired guy, and who's one of the criminals, and the blade just fucking shatters. And then they try roasting him, and he's immune to fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, the number of times they tried to execute him was ridiculous.
Yeah, and then even more ridiculous is that he doesn't have the elixir of life.
Yeah.
So he is mortal. He's just able to do things that are not almost nonsensical in terms of like abilities, right?
Yeah.
Like it's very fantasy. But that I forgot that's in the first episode?
That's episode 1.
Wow,
Yeah.
see, I didn't remember that at all. But then does episode 1 have because this isn't really getting into spoilers, but they round up all the criminals, but they only have spots for like 12?
Episode 2.
That was episode 2 that
Yes.
all that shit happens. How many did they send? I don't even remember.
I don't remember.
After losing fun, it doesn't even say. It just says sends a group of death row convicts. Yeah, I don't
See if I
remember
can
how many
find
they
this real
sent,
quick.
but they sent a good number of. They send a good number of these. I guess they were on death row. I just called them prisoners, but these criminals that are now locked up. They send them. They only had a certain number of the executioners to pair with a criminal. So they basically tell all the criminals, okay, we only have X number of spots, so everybody go nuts and kill off everybody around you, and so we can thin out the herd.
Fight or be executed.
That's exactly it. It's fight or be executed, and then they all just start massacring each other. The thing that I thought was really stupid about that, though, is like, what if one guy just killed them all? Like, they didn't... Like, it's not like you would have... Like, if you were you're in this room, and you're like, all right, only 5 of you can live, you're just going to start killing everybody around you.
Yeah.
Like, are you going to have a running number going in your head? We're like, okay, there's those 3 guys, they're left, and now there's still 3 guys here, so if I kill one of them, then that's 5. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's like, oh, I can kill one more, but I should really slow down.
Right. Like, it's like, how would you know what the running total is, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, so that's a little farcical. You're going to hear that quite a bit as we talk about the show, because there's a lot of far-fetched things in the show, for sure. So Gabby Maru is basically the main guy.
Yeah, more or less.
I mean, he's like, so of all the criminal guys are tearing each other apart, one of them, Gabby Maru the Hollow, who was the guy in the first episode, who he wants to die. Like, he wants them to kill him.
Yeah.
But the problem is he's so trained. He's so well trained as a ninja in the like secret arts that he's borderline immortal.
Yeah.
And he's depressed and he wants to die.
So I believe the way they tried to play that off was as she was talking to him about whether or not he wanted to die, and he was confused about why he couldn't. The whole time they were trying to execute him, he really did want to live. And it was when he came to that realization, when she tried to cut his head off.
That's right. I forgot about that.
That was when he could die.
Right. That's right. Yeah. Because it turns out the executioners just weren't skilled enough to be able to kill him. And it turns out he actually was resisting dying. But he seemed like he was despondent and like depressed. But no, it turns out he actually did want to die. And the reveal at the end of the episode is the main girl that he's with, that he gets paired with later on. She shows up, one of the the Yamada, like the top skilled, is that what they were called? The Yamada, I've already forgot. Yeah, the Yamada. One of the Yamada assassins or executioners who's like god tier. She shows up and she tries to kill him, and then suddenly he's like, oh shit, she actually can kill me. So yeah, then he agrees to be part of that program. And then that leads into episode 2, where they say there's a limited number of slots, go nuts, thin out the herd, kill everybody around you. Then they all massacre each other. And then we're left with at the end of that, because that's where Gabimaru just goes ape shit and just like he shows his real abilities and just like massacres guys, like ripping out throats with his bare hands and all kinds of crazy shit, right?
Yeah.
And the result of that is we're left with a bunch of wacky criminal characters as well as a bunch of eccentric executioner characters.
Yeah.
And that's really what the show is. The show is eccentric, wacky characters in a absurd situation. That's the whole plot of the show. Let's just start, because that is the basic premise. So then, without spoiling anything else, the only other thing I'll say is, so we got these death row inmates who all have their own unique attributes and abilities and styles, and they're all kind of wild and all over the place. And here, I'm just going to bring up some of these guys. Let me just look up, like, Hell's Paradise death row inmates. Because it is literally all over the board in terms of, like, all the different types of characters that are in this show. I mean, that's not bad. That kind of gives you an idea right there.
Yeah.
There's like the king of the underground criminals, and there's a hot ninja chick, and then Gabimaru is some sort of like mysterious ninja clan, and there's like a Hattori Hanzo type character that's like the ultimate, god hand swordsman. And then there's like one of the executioners is like a guy that wants to dissect things, and another executioner is like a nerdy guy, and there's another executioner that is fucking blind, but he's able to like feel the waves of energy that creatures put out. And then there's like another, it's all just like wild and eccentric characters. And then they all go to the island, and then it gets even more clusterfucky, because then some of them try to kill the executioner, their executioner, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Not bodyguard. What's it called when it's chaperone?
Yeah.
Some of them try to kill their executioner chaperone. Some of them make deals with their chaperone. Then some of them try to kill the other criminals, because technically they're not on a team or anything.
Yeah.
Only one of them's being offered a pardon. And then the island is the monsters on the island are nonsensical, beyond belief creatures that are like half inanimate objects, half animals, but they're like somewhat sentient.
Yeah.
And they encounter these creatures, and then because of that, they some of them end up teaming up, because the creatures prove so deadly and foreign and unknown that they almost have to team up in order to have any chance of like completing their task, right?
Yeah.
And that's all we'll really say about the plot. But things we liked. What do you got? What did you like?
So I kind of liked the idea of trying to humanize this deadly assassin.
Which one?
It's the Hollow.
Oh, the main
right?
guy. Yeah, the main guy. Because they give him a
supposed to be
backstory.
this cold, kind of emotionless assassin.
Well, you mentioned the trope of like tragic backstories.
Yeah.
Almost every single one of these characters has a tragic backstory.
Oh, always.
Literally, this is a tragic backstory anime.
Yeah.
And it doles those out at random. So like half of an episode, you follow one character and it's just their backstory, and then half another episode, it's another backstory. It's a lot of that.
Yeah.
And sorry, I interrupted.
But I liked how they kind of made him more human, right? He doesn't so much want to kill, but he will.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. They have got like a deadly ninja assassin that is trying to reform, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, and his backstory is pretty good, without spoiling it.
Yeah, that was probably the biggest thing I liked about it.
Okay. You like anything else? I agree with you on that.
Yeah. The enemies were pretty fascinating. Like those monsters and whatnot on the island.
Yeah, if you want to know what they look like, here, I'll just bring up an image. I don't think this would be spoiling anything per se, but I don't remember what they were actually called because they all have nonsensical names. But they look like they start out as like, yeah, they're like weird insectoid creatures with like human faces, and then there's like fish monsters that are giant and they have tentacles and shit, and there's like humanoid bug creatures. Yeah, the doshi. There's all kinds of weird terms in this show. The show's very term heavy, and then it's like, oh, they throws a lot of weird terminology at you because it is trying to build the island world. It's trying to explain that. So there's a lot of information. There's a lot of information dump they have to do because of that, right? Because it's building its own world. So characters will hear the creatures using terms that they have no fucking idea what it is, and then they, and then it becomes common knowledge on the show. That's a lot of it. The creature designs are very nonsensical. They're very like weird alien-esque. Like they're just mishmashes of shit.
So aside from being mishmashes, they sort of put me in mind of the Titans from Attack on Titan.
Yeah, there are some giant creatures in the show.
Yeah.
They're kind of Titan-esque. I didn't like the character designs personally.
Yeah.
So I think Attack on Titan, they're slicker. I like that design of like they're basically humans without like flesh.
Yeah.
Well, some of them are. The colossal ones are, but I always thought the Titans looked cooler. They're just kind of it's like they made giants cool all of a sudden.
Yeah.
They just I like that design. I do see what you mean about the comparison though, because the creatures on the island vary in size from like an insect up into literally like Titan-esque size creatures that are like fucking 200 feet tall
with no visible explanation for where they come from.
No, I mean the whole island is literally a mystery. Like by the end of the season, they answer a lot of the mysteries. Just so you know, I mean you're halfway, so they already started to answer some of the mysteries. But it starts out very convoluted and confusing, where it's like, what the fuck is going on? You really feel just like the characters on the island of like. What is like? There's no bearings, Yeah. It's just mad. It's basically madness. Everything you're seeing is just complete fucking madness.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would compare. Have you ever seen Gantz?
No.
Okay, so the enemies in Gantz were. So Gantz is a bit of an older anime now. Let me just look this up real quick. Anyone who's seen Gantz will know exactly what I'm talking about in terms of the enemy designs in it. So in Gantz, the creatures are all aliens, but they're all like weird alien designs. Like here, does this not look like something out of Hell's Paradise?
Yeah.
Literally, look, they're even wearing like prayer beads and robes and shit. Does that remind you of something out of Hell's Paradise?
Oh, absolutely.
The enemy designs in Hell's Paradise are very similar to Gantz in that they use they use a lot of religious iconography, like a lot of Buddhist type iconography, and just bizarre, weird mishmash designs that are just unnatural. Yeah.
Yeah. Sort of like false deities.
Yeah. I guess that's a good way of putting it. Yeah. I liked the animation, but I mean, I don't think it does anything stellar. I just think it's competent.
Yeah.
Like it was good. I'm trying to give it pros before I shit on it, and I'm going to shit on it, even though I finished it. The animation was pretty solid, and the fights were good too. Like I thought the action like flowed really good. They did a good job in how they filmed it.
Yeah.
Filmed it. They did a good job in how they directed it. Is what I meant to say. Yeah, they actually filmed that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, they actually got those people. They made they found a demon island.
No, I could see it.
Yeah. But I liked that. Anything else you want to add about things you liked?
No, I went over everything I had.
Yeah, there's not a ton. I some of the characters were cool. Like I liked, my favorite character was like the ultimate. He was like the ultimate badass, like the underground criminal guy, the guy who's with the white eye with like the big scar, who has a giant fucking axe. That guy, the guy with his brother.
Yeah.
That guy was awesome. So some of the characters were cool. I'll say this, don't get attached to any of the characters, because characters die like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, in all fairness, they start off with like 12 fucking characters in the second episode, you know? Like, you knew they were going to get chopped up.
Oh, someone had to.
And a lot of them do. Other than like a few that have plot armor, pretty much don't get attached to anyone, because at any point they could be killed.
Yeah.
You know? But I thought some of the character designs were cool. I didn't like the enemy designs. Like, I didn't like how they were designed. I thought they were kind of lame. I thought the executioners were kind of generic. I mean, they're just they're quirky looking samurai guys. You got a schlubby, chubby guy with glasses. There's like the reserved, classy girl, or woman. Sorry. There's like a nonsensical blind guy that somehow is the best swordsman out of any of them. There's like the weird neurotic kid that wants to like dissect things and learn how everything works.
Yeah.
I don't even remember a lot of them, but like the executioner type characters, they weren't as interesting, I thought. But I thought they were a little, I don't know, none of them really interested me per se. Do you want to get into what we didn't like about it now? Do you have any other pros to give?
No, I already touched on all mine.
All right, things I didn't like about it. It is a fucking mess. It has no flow. Every episode jumps all over the place. And that's one of the problems with this. So the pacing is a fucking mess. They try to introduce too many fucking characters too quick. And the problem is every episode just jumps from character to character to character to character. And it's so hard to get invested in any of them. And especially because, like, did you see the episode with the giant when he's on the island? Have you seen that episode?
His first appearance?
I don't want to spoil things. Never mind.
I've
the episode with the giant's backstory. Have you seen that episode?
No, I haven't. No.
Okay, they give the giant a little bit of backstory. They give some of the characters get backstories and then they just kill them off. You know, and I'm not saying that's necessarily what happens to the giant. I don't know. Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. But a lot of the characters, like, they give you backstories and they just fucking kill them off. So it's like, what's the point?
Well, I mean, it's Demon Slayer does the same thing, right?
Does it? But immediately kills them off?
Well, see, what Demon Slayer does is usually a little bit different. They give you the backstory of, like, demons, for example, as they're dying.
Okay, yeah, all right. I mean, I don't know. To me, it's kind of lame. I never liked when they introduce characters and then just to kill them off. And that's kind of what that feels like. It's just the plot jumps all over the place. The plot progression is janky as fuck, and it doesn't flow well. And honestly, I had trouble investing in any of the characters. I thought they were all kind of just quirky, eccentric characters.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't really dig any of them. Like, the main guy, Gabimaru, he's pretty cool. Yeah, he's pretty cool. That's about it. That's about all I got to say. Like, the guy I liked the best was that ultimate badass guy. I mean, I thought the blind executioner guy was cool because blind swordsmen are always cool, even though it's complete nonsense. Yep. But other than that, I didn't really invest in anything else. Some of them just kind of, as cool as some of their designs were, some of them feel stock. It's like the hot ninja chick. It's like, you know, how many fucking animes just have the hot ninja chick with the big cans? It's you know, the dresses like a Mortal Kombat cosplay.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we're doing that. All right, that's fine. And there's like the reserved, beautiful executioner girl that never, the main girl, the one that's paired up with Gabimaru, that never got her chance to blossom because she was a woman, so she was held back because of her gender. And I don't know. It feels like it's been done before. It feels it just feels a little too stock.
Yeah.
You know, like, as crazy as some of the characters are, they all feel like it. That second episode feels like they were like, all right, we're going to take all these character types from other animes and we're going to shove them into this one fucking room.
Yeah.
And that's because some of them feel like they're just out of different animes altogether. You know, like they don't even feel like they fit together.
Well, like the uniforms that the executioners wear kind of put me in mind of the Gote 13 from Bleach.
Yeah. No, I mean that they're basically the Bleach captains, but not interesting.
Yeah. And then
I mean they're very similar.
The ninja girl, she kind of makes me think of Soifone from Bleach.
Yeah, you're right. I gotta look that up. Bleach. This chick?
Yeah.
Or actually, wait. No, are you thinking of the cat ninja chick?
No, I was
Thinking of Soifon.
definitely thinking of her.
Okay, yeah. That's her. And then I'll just bring up the other one here. Wow. Any idea what the ninja girl's character's name? I didn't even remember any of their names on Hell's Paradise.
I just met her. So I was just introduced to her, I'll say.
I'll just put ninja girl. I guarantee it comes up. Yeah, there we go. Yuzuria? Yeah, so we got her right here, Yuzuria, the hot ninja chick, and then we got Soifon. Yeah, I mean, they're similar, yeah. I'll give it to you. I mean, it's just a badass ninja chick.
Yeah.
It's just a badass ninja hot chick. Like that it is a character, it's a trope.
Yeah.
It's a character trope in anime.
Oh, like it seems like every character just reminds me of another anime.
Yeah.
It's like
and
the
you
badass swordsman looks similar to Dracula Mihawk from One Piece.
Let me look it up. All right, Dracula Mihawk. One Piece.
It's like, I mean, badass swordsman.
With like a scar.
The sideburns.
So this dude is who you're talking about?
Yeah.
All right. And any idea what that guy's name is?
No.
I'll put Hell's Paradise badass, and we'll see if it comes up. I bet you it does. Badass. No, it's all Gabby Maru.
I mean, he is pretty badass.
Scar guy. Yeah, there we go. Scar guy.
No, not that one. The other one.
Oh, that's who I was thinking of.
See the picture, the green?
Who are you thinking of?
That guy.
This dude?
That guy, yeah.
Oh, you're thinking of the swordsman guy.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. You thought he reminded you of Mihawk. Yeah, okay. I can kind of see it.
So like right there.
Yeah.
That's
so like that.
The picture right there.
And that. Very similar. Very similar. I thought you were talking about my favorite guy, Chubei Aza.
Honestly, his attitude seems more like Bakugo from My Hero Academia. It's like the comparisons you can make are endless.
And I'm not trying to be an asshole, being like, there's nothing original. It just rips off everything else, because everything is a derivative of everything at this point. But it doesn't feel like it does enough of its own thing. And that's coming from a show that has an insane amount of lore for that weirdo island. But but nothing really feels that new and fresh. That's my problem with it as well. It doesn't do anything spectacular. Doesn't have an amazing story. The setup's terrible. It has a pretty janky like pilot and follow-up episode. The plot progression sucks. The characters are all kind of fucking stock. I didn't like it. That being said, I fucking finished the first season, so maybe I'm a glutton for punishment. The funny thing is I don't even know why I did that, because I am such a snob when it comes to watching shit that I usually only give it a few episodes and then I go fuck off. And one of the animes on my list, I didn't make it past the second episode. So if for some fucking reason I gave Hell's Paradise a whole season, why, I don't know. I can't answer that.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else to add about Hell's Paradise?
No, I actually touched on my my dislike of it earlier in episode 1.
Beautiful. Moving on. All right, what else do you got on your list?
Well, should I jump into something that I maybe didn't have so much interest in?
After the show that you clearly had not a lot of interest in?
I won't lie to you. I actually enjoyed Hell's Paradise. I will go back and finish that season.
All right. Hey, there's no judgment. There's no judgment. You know you and I are not going to like the same shit.
It's very hard for me to find an anime I dislike.
Right.
And I've done it.
Oh, all right. Okay, so because it didn't sound like you really liked Hell's Paradise. It sounded like you just thought it was okay.
I mean, I had faults, but nothing I couldn't look past.
Fair enough. You are definitely much more forgiving than I am.
Yeah. I mean, I've watched enough anime. I can look past.
Fair enough.
Quite a bit. I mean, if I can get past the injuries in Demon Slayer, right?
Yeah. I just assume that it's more of a frequent issue than, it's obviously something you wouldn't have brought it up. So what do you got with your next one on your list?
All right, well, I'll jump into Magical Destroyers.
Magical Destroyers. What the fuck is this?
So essentially what it is it's a war on anime, specifically otaku. The idea is they targeted otaku to protect a world-famous culture in Japan. So they raid anime merchandise, video games, the like, remove it all from shelves. And now I did stop after like 3 episodes. It's a blessing that I made it that far.
So it's obviously a comedy, right? This looks like nutty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
this is very like satirical, obviously.
So I don't want to necessarily say they throw otaku into camps, but that's kind of the vibe I'm getting. They are in like protection zones that for some reason are still attacked.
Sorry, what is the plot of this fucking show? So the plot is that it's
otaku versus essentially the government of Japan.
Sorry, say it again. The otaku
are in a war against Japan.
Oh, okay. So the Japanese government is like, all right, fuck the otakus. We need to round them all up.
Yeah.
That's literally what's happening.
So I don't quite recall if it's the whole world or just specifically Japan, but when they touched on it, they said it was a war on otaku to protect a world-famous culture.
Okay.
So essentially they removed all anime merch, like video games, all of that.
Right.
And you can't represent.
Right.
So they basically went, hey, go ahead and forget who you were and conform with the rest of us.
Right.
And that didn't sit right with Otaku Hero and the, what are their names?
Magic
the
cute,
magic girls or
magic
whatever
cute
they were.
girls that have swords or some I don't even know what I'm looking at here. This is just looks
I
like
don't
such
remember their
madness.
full names, but they are like blue, red, and pink.
So I can tell you right now, if I saw this poster, I wouldn't even watch this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't even, I would look at that and be like, fuck off. I don't like comedy animes.
Yeah.
Now, I like comedy moments in anime. That's totally fine. But like genre of comedy animes, nope. Not a fan.
See, I didn't read the description, and I didn't look at pictures, watch trailers, anything. I read the name Magical Destroyers, and I went, no, okay, maybe it'll be something like, I don't know, fairy tale or something.
Now, would you have given this a chance, though, if you saw that?
Probably not.
Oh, so even you were like, no, fuck this.
Yeah, a bit much for my taste.
That's funny. Yeah, that's very
But,
funny.
I don't know, the more I watched it, it was just the question I kept coming back to is...
The more you watched it, the more it grew on you.
What are they magically destroying aside from my dignity? So I really disliked this show.
Right.
But there's really nothing I liked about it. It was a bit much. I mean, the girl with the pink hair.
It looks so on the nose.
She literally talked in Gobo Gobo.
What? What is that?
That was her speech. Gobo Gobo Gobo.
Yeah.
But don't worry, blue hair translates.
Oh, okay.
Blue hair is also uncontrollably horny for no reason.
This sounds fucking terrible.
Oh, I can assure you it was.
Isn't it funny that like it's one of those things where it's just like you look at the shit that gets made and it's like somebody funded this. Like some madman who had this terrible idea for a fucking anime somehow convinced people with money to produce this.
Yeah.
It just blows my mind. I guess some studios are just fucking desperate for new content. Because this looks fucking awful.
Well, I mean, our hero, or sorry, otaku hero.
Otaku hero.
He is the leader of
on the nose at
our
all.
group of otaku.
Yeah.
And from what I can tell thus far, he has no powers. In fact, he doesn't really do much. The magical girls are...
Do they actually have magic? Like, is magic in the show?
That's the thing, is they really do use, like, magic. I mean, like, Pink Hair uses, like, drugs. She injects you with hallucinogenics so you can, like, mind meld and step into her brain for epic battles and stuff.
So the government, are they rounding up otakus?
Yeah, well, see...
What determines an otaku, though? Like, do they lay that out?
Well, it's just, like, anime merch and stuff.
Oh, so they're just trying to get rid of anime merch in general. Oh, but, like, okay, so then anyone who resists gets locked up.
Essentially, yeah.
Is that what's going on?
Yeah.
And then this guy's like, no, we need a nerdy culture. So in other words, they're just censoring, like, nerdy shit?
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
So, like, they put him in...
like, why does that... Because I just find it funny that, like, that's such a broad stroke of being like, otaku culture's the problem, so we're going to round up all pop culture shit. But, like, you're not necessarily an otaku if you like video games.
Yeah.
That's, it's kind of pretty fucking stupid.
But, like, they put them in, like, protection zones, they call them. And they actually serve as, like, not so much tourist destinations, but they are attractions on, like, guided tours.
Okay.
So, like, at some point you see a tour bus come through and they're like, yeah, if you look to the left here, you'll notice a group of otaku in this protection zone. And
what do they do in the protection zones? Are they
whatever they want, basically. Like, they've got restaurants. Like, they hang out, do their thing. They even throw a rock through the tour bus.
Do they have... So in the it's funny I'm asking so much about this plot, but I'm, like, trying to even figure out what the fuck's going on. So in the protection zones, do they have the, like, pop culture shit? Like, do they have access to that stuff or no?
They did raid, like, a storage facility where the otaku merch was being held.
So they're not supposed to have it, though?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're essentially locked up and put into some sort of camps or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the plot follows this doofus guy with the fucking Neville glasses here.
Yeah.
Sorry, Melvin glasses from... Is it Melvin? The swirly glasses guy from fucking Sailor Moon. I think it's Melvin. And then these chicks.
Yeah.
That's who it follows. And then he's just like, we're going to stop the government from all this shit. Is that basically what's going on?
Basically, yeah.
Is it like kill... Does it try to be like Kill la Kill in that it's like very self-aware of what it is at least?
Are
you familiar with Kill la Kill?
Vaguely.
Okay.
I think I watched it.
Kill la Kill is very like... Kill la Kill tries to make fun of anime tropes.
No, okay.
Yeah.
Not from what I've noticed.
So it's not smart.
I mean, like,
So it's not even clever enough to do that.
I couldn't really tune in to it, you know?
Fair enough.
So maybe I missed something.
Right.
But from what I picked up on, it didn't really seem like they were, like, making a joke about it.
Okay.
But, I mean, there were definitely parts that could have been joked about.
What stopped you? What was the breaking point?
Episode 1.
No, but you said you got to 3 episodes.
Yeah, because I needed to talk about it.
Oh, so you immediately episode 1, you were like...
I did it for the fans.
You were like, this show fucking... Yeah, the future fans, hopefully.
Yeah.
So you were like, this show fucking sucks, episode 1. I'm going to keep watching so I have material to dunk on this anime about.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
right.
like, if you look at my notes, like, everything else I've got, like, 2-3 notes. Yeah. And then I get down to the bottom to Magical Destroyers.
Oh, it didn't actually
sorry.
scroll up there. It, like, started typing. Oh. God.
So, yeah.
All kinds of shit. Well, I'll let you speak. Speak your mind.
So, I mean, I've already touched on a lot of this. So, yeah. Their magical powers make no sense to me. Like, I assume they got them through the power of anime.
Right. So, like, the world is just nonsensical in a sense?
Yeah,
where
I mean,
it's like they don't give... There's no rules, per se.
There aren't really fights. You know,
Okay.
like...
That was my next question is, like, who are they fighting? Like, do the government just have guns and they're just, like, shooting actual bullets?
So, that guy there in the suit with the, like, computer monitor for a face,
Right.
is essentially what they're up against.
Oh, fuck
So like
off.
the enemies are kind of all like that, but they've got like the just like a round white face with
Okay. So they're not humans?
It's an emoji.
So they're not humans?
Not from what I can gather from
Yeah.
the first few episodes.
So they're like some robots or some shit?
Like they do have a guy that comes at them in this giant robot suit,
Right.
and they don't so much fight.
Right.
Like he starts kicking their asses, and they essentially beat him because of his love of cars.
What?
As the whole time they're fighting him, he's dodging like model cars. Like he breaks a wall out of a store, and there are a bunch of model cars on a shelf, and he manages to not damage them because he likes them, but he's in denial. He's dodging cars in the street that are
This sounds fucking awful. I don't even know what
not
you're
great,
talking
yeah.
about right now. I gotta look up. I'm gonna mute this, but I'm just gonna look up a video of magical destroyers so I can see what the fuck this looks like. But go ahead and keep talking here. Keep ranting about this anime, please.
let's see. Where did I leave off here?
You were talking about nonsensical something.
Yeah, so
The
basically,
fights. I was asking. I'm trying to figure out what the hell I'm even. Sorry, this is. There we go. Look at this. Look at these jackasses. Whee!
yeah, they're pretty
Look
great.
at this. All right. In the future, we need to control humanity. We can't have them liking pop culture things. Even though I'm a guy with a television for a head. Literally, doesn't that make you think, oh, it's a computer for a head? Oh. It's even more clever.
Yeah, but
This I don't know what I'm looking at right now. This makes it almost look like he's the main character, and this is a scene from something, because this came out from Crunchyroll. We could be spoiling things right now.
no, we could very well
This
be,
could
'cause
be a
I
spoiler.
didn't see this.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna pause this mostly because I don't care. I love that. I fucking hate this.
Oh,
I love that. There's like immediately right beside the video. Don't sleep on magical destroyers.
No, sleep on it.
Total hidden gem. Like we click on one video clip to dunk on how stupid this anime is, and then there's some jackass that has a video right beside it that's like, this is actually a hidden gem. It's anything that exists, there's always now somebody that's like, actually, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, here's my video essay on why that is. And I mean, I'm guilty of that. I have fucking video essays on my channel.
Yeah.
In fact, I did a whole video about why most anime sucks, according to me. Feel free to watch that. Nobody else did. But like, I just find it funny that in this day and age, anything you can think of, you can find some jackass that's willing to dedicate a large portion of their life explaining to you why it's actually good.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, like there's just very few things we all collectively agree are not great anymore, right? So, magical destroyers. All right, cool. Anything else you want to add about magical fucking destroyers?
No, see the fight with the car otaku
Right?
was where I checked out. I was like, you know what? I've got enough material. I really don't need to.
This is just stupid.
I don't need to torture myself any longer.
It just sounds like a stupid satire on the nose comedy show.
Yeah.
And some people love those. Is it Gintama? Is like, you ever heard of Gintama?
Yeah.
That's nonsensical, right?
Well, isn't that the one they just like make fun of other anime?
They make fun of like everything,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So like Gintama, I think, is one of those shows that has become accepted, and it's pretty nonsensical, and people love Gintama. I never got into it. I tried. It just wasn't for me. I'm just not a fan of the comedy animes. Like, that's not what I want out of anime. I
Yeah.
want like, I want things that look cooler than what they're gonna look like in real life. And I want fantastical things that you can't really do live action. Like that to me is what that genre is about.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not like I'm not open to. Well, I mean, I'll give things a chance, but very rarely do I like comedy anime shows.
Yeah.
Is that all you have to say on Magical Destroyers?
Oh, that's all I'm willing to talk about.
Okay, fuck Magical Destroyers. On to me. How about I follow up your bad pick with another bad pick? which I am going to get reamed for this one because I looked it up and it is hugely popular, but I did not like this anime at all. Fuck this anime. Oshi no Ko.
Okay.
Have you heard anything about this?
Not at all.
Okay. So basic plot is, you're familiar with the term idol?
Yep.
So idol, for anyone who doesn't know, is it's like a Japanese term for what we would call a pop star, but more specifically pop stars that are young pretty girls. So like Britney Spears, Taylor Swift, Miley Cyrus. This would be like our equivalent of it, but in Japanese culture, idol is the term they give to that type of career. Like it's a younger pretty girl that sings and dances. That's basically a pop star, and it's a whole idol culture in Japan, and that's the term they use. So the plot follows this idol whose name I don't remember, doesn't matter, and she gets pregnant, which they have to keep a secret, and she goes to this doctor who's in a remote village in Japan, and she goes there to deliver. It turns out she's actually having twins, so she goes there to deliver her children in secret away from the public eye because she wants to be an idol, or she wants to maintain her career as an idol. And I guess pregnancy is not, it's like a no-no in the idol culture, and I guess it would make her lose fans or something. I don't know. I don't pretend to know the intricacies of the idol culture. I'm guessing it's like anything else where as a woman, if you get pregnant, it's, hard to do the job. So, okay, sure. So she goes to this remote village to have these two twins. Coincidentally, at said hospital, there is a doctor who is her physician who has an obsession with her, and specifically her career. I think her name is like It's like AI or something. Like it's like it's a nonsense like pop star name, right?
All right.
And he coincidentally has an obsession with her. Okay, so he's a fanboy for this pop star, for this idol. And the reason he became a fan was he was treating a terminally ill younger girl who was a fan of this pop star. And through his interactions with this poor dying girl, he became a fan, and it was almost a way to, I guess, honor the dying girl, right? Like it was a way to keep her kind of alive in a sense through him.
Yeah.
Because he obviously connected to this poor girl. That's not bad. That's like, okay, that's fine. This is where the show gets fucking stupid. So the doctor, I gotta step back. The terminally ill patient who was it was a young girl. She was like 14 or something, who's a fan of the pop star. She dies, but she says to the doctor, "Wouldn't it be wonderful to be reborn as the daughter of a pop star?" Which to me is a very fucking specific thing. Like, I just find that such a specific dream. But like, okay, fair enough. It's a young girl who's dying, so it's like she's thinking about rebirth, and she's obsessed with this idol, whose name I really can't remember, and I gotta look this up because otherwise people are gonna ream me out for, not knowing at least the basics of it. But let me just find it. Yeah, it is I got it right. Yeah, so she's obsessed with Ai Hoshino. So Ai, who's the idol, she's the this Britney Spears-esque character, whatever you want to relate it to. It's a pop star. So okay, it's not that far-fetched. Maybe she might think that, but this is where it gets even more stupid. They have, at one point, it cuts to, because there's shots in the hospital, and at one point there's two random jackasses, two young guys sitting in the waiting room, and you overhear their conversation. They're watching the TV and they're talking about idol, like gossip news, and one of them's like, "Wouldn't it be great to get resurrected as the daughter of, as the child of a idol?" I'm like, is this like a normal fantasy dream that people have in Japan that like, wouldn't it be great to be reborn as the child of an idol? I don't think it would. Why the fuck would you want to be a celebrity's child? That sounds awful. Yeah, but it's fun. It's just, the show tries so hard to normalize that idea where it's like, well, we all have this fantasy. It's like, no, we fucking don't. I wouldn't want to be a celebrity's child. Fuck that. That to me seems like most of those kids end up pretty fucked up. You know, like to me, that's not a desirable thing that I fantasize about. So then the doctor, Mr. Straightlace, who he's just like an average dude, but he is a fanboy for I. And so it's kind of like his guilty pleasure, I guess you could say, right? But he's treating I, right? So at this point, the cancer girl has died. I is at the hospital getting to know the doctor who's fanboying over her, but he's slowly getting to know her more and more. And then she goes into labor. And then the doctor gets killed by a, what would you call him? A stalker. So there's a stalker who somehow found out that I was at this hospital, and he tries to get at I, and the doctor tries to stop him, and then he ends up inadvertently getting killed. Do you get what's gonna? Do you have a prediction of what's gonna happen next?
Oh yeah, I think I caught a couple spoilers there. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have an idea of what might be coming next? So we've got everybody in Japan wants to be reborn as the child of a pop star, of an idol.
Yep.
We have an idol who's pregnant with 2 twins. We have a young girl who wanted to come back as the daughter of an idol. And we have a doctor who just got killed. What could happen next?
I wonder.
So then, okay, so you obviously, she has the 2 children, and then the doctor wakes up in the body of a baby boy. So a grown man is now in the body of a baby.
Yep.
Coincidentally, the baby of I, the pop star. And you learn, I think in the first or second episode, the cancer girl is also she's in the body of the twin, the girl. So there was a baby girl and a baby boy. She's in that body. They realize, I think in the first or second episode, no, it wasn't the first episode. The 2 babies realize that the other one was an older person that got put into the body of the baby because they each catch each other talking in full sentences. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't act like babies. They have their full minds. So, like, I think she's like 12 or 14. The cancer girl, she's got her full mind. She's just in the body of the baby girl. And the doctor, he has his full adult brain just in the body of the baby. So they're both able to speak in like full sentences. They just sound like they're in baby voice, right? But they can speak in full sentences and everything.
Okay.
And they catch each other talking full sentences. So then they both reveal to each other that, oh, we're in this wacky situation. We're both in this. And if it sounds like a comedy show, it's not. It's not a comedy show, John. It is a serious drama thriller. It's not a fucking comedy. As stupid as what I just said sounds, it's not a comedy. They don't reveal to each other who they are. So the doctor doesn't know that it's Cancer Girl. Cancer Girl doesn't know it's the doctor. I don't even think they know. No, they do know that in their previous life of their genders because they reveal that. So the Cancer Girl reveals she said she lies and says she was a woman. And then the doctor says he was just a man, right? Okay. Are you still listening? 'Cause we have to get to the main plot of the show. So in case you're wondering, it's like, oh, well, what is the plot of this show? So then, and I'm not spoiling anything. This is just the beginning of the show is what I'm giving out. So then the mother, who's I, begins to secretly raise these 2 children, both of which are actual fully adult people inside, well, almost adult, but like grown-up people inside the body of these babies. But they are pretending and going along with it, acting like babies. including breastfeeding. Now, the boy, the doctor baby does not breastfeed, but the cancer girl baby does breastfeed, which is pretty fucked up. And there's actually like a whole scene because the doctor is like, I can't cross any boundaries. Like, this isn't proper. Like, they create all these weird, like, awkward fucking anime situations, you know. Thank God the babies don't, like, the doctor baby doesn't get a nosebleed or something stupid like that, you know, when he sees eyes, like, fucking exposed breast or something. But I wouldn't have been surprised had they done that. It would not have shocked me. So then what happens is the children start to get older. The children with actual grown-up people in them, in their bodies, start to get older. And then the same stalker that killed the doctor finds Ai and kills her. So Ai is dead. And that was the only thing that actually caught me off guard. I was like, they fucking kill her off? I was like, shit. They did that in the first episode. Okay? So she is now dead. And then it time skips again. So they time skip like 4 times. It's like, here's them as babies. And then it's like them when they're like, I don't know, 6 or 7 or 8. And then it's like them. Oh, so I guess it's only 3 times. And then it's them as teenagers. Okay. And when they're teenagers, I think they're like 14 or 15 or 16. Like they're in high school, basically. It might be 16. I honestly don't remember. I don't know if it's going to tell me in the plot or not. I have no idea. It doesn't matter. So they're teenagers all of a sudden. The doctor, he decides he is going to make it his life's mission to find out who killed Ai, his mother, even though it's not his mother. He's going to find out who killed the pop girl. And that's all he's doing. And that's the main premise of the show. He is really the main protagonist, the doctor, who's in the body of this pop star's child. And he's going to find out who sent the stalker, who fed the stalker information, and it becomes a thriller show, apparently. Okay. The other girl, the cancer girl, she is trying to honor Ai, but also fulfill her dreams of becoming a pop star. And because they're the children of Ai, they're both like perfectly good-looking people that have like perfect features, and they're the girl can like sing and dance like exactly like her mother. Well, actually, she struggles with dancing, but it's like she's a natural at being an idol. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because apparently that's a gene that just gets passed down. You know, I mean, I guess pretty people have pretty people, but the father is a mystery, so you don't know who the father is. In case you were wondering, they don't reveal it on the first episode. I don't know if they later reveal it. I don't really give a shit. He's not in the show at the beginning. Yeah, that's the basic premise of the show. Fuck, was that a mouthful? The tone of the show is actually supposed to be serious, as stupid as what I said at the beginning. But here's the problem. It starts off really goofy and nutty, and it's like, it's kind of a wacky situation, but then there's like, I find tonally it's a little all over the board. So it's like, it's trying to be wacky and goofy at times, but it also wants you to take it wants you to take the material seriously. Yeah. But I just think the premise is so fucking stupid that I find it difficult to do that. I also feel bad for the Ai girl because, like, Ai, the pop star. Yeah. Because her children's souls, I guess, just went into purgatory because they were replaced with these 2 other human beings. You know what I mean? Like, whatever children she would have had, they're not them, right? Like, her children are 2 other people that already existed. So she never really had her own children in that sense. Like, it's just this philosophical issues with this. Another fucking problem I had was like, okay, the cancer girl died long before I was delivering the children. So what happened to her soul? It just hung out in the clouds and then shot down when she went into labor, or did it instantly go into the fetus inside Ai's, like, you know, inside of her? Yeah. Because the doctor, remember, he died right as she was going into labor. So who the fuck was in that body before he went into it? You know what I'm saying? It's like, I guess her real children are just, they don't exist. Like they never did. Or I don't know, their souls just went out. Maybe they died
into the void.
You know what I'm saying? Like it creates such philosophical issues. The first episode, I have a big gripe with this. The first episode is 90 fucking minutes.
That's a movie.
It's a movie. I didn't know this. I just hit play because most episodes are like animes are usually like 20 to 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Like very rarely is an anime more than 30 minutes long, like an episode, right? And I literally was just like, play, I'm watching. And all of a sudden it occurred to me, I was like, fuck, this is still going. I'm like, how long is this? And I look at the time bar and I was at like 50 minutes. And I was like, what the fuck? I look at the time code and there was 90 minutes. And I looked it up because I was like, oh, maybe whoever uploaded this fucked it up and it's the first 3 episodes. No, it premiered as a movie. It's like an OVA basically. It's a full-on fucking movie. It's an hour and a half.
Jesus.
And I mean, it's not even that it's not even that the runtime really fucks it because obviously I didn't notice it first. So like kudos to them and that like, okay, fine. They paced it like that. It doesn't feel like 3 episodes pasted together, but 90 minutes to start, cut me a fucking break. I mean, I don't know. That's a lot of an investment to just to get to see if you're into something. Well, give me a fucking pilot episode.
That's like the length of what? 4.5 episodes roughly?
Right. That's egregious, man. That's egregious. Yeah, that's fucking horseshit. Wow. Yeah. So
did you watch anything after the first episode or did you?
I watched the second episode. So I got how many episodes is that? That's fucking.
It's essentially like 5-6 deep.
Well, like most episodes would be like 25 minutes. This was 9
minus intros and stuff.
Yeah.
You're looking at maybe 18 to 20.
Yeah, so let's just say like 20 minutes. So yeah, it's like 4.5 episodes. So I got like 5+ episodes in by that logic, right?
Yeah.
I did watch the so the second episode and the episodes that follow, they're all like regular length. It's just that first fucking episode is a movie. So I didn't know that going in. That's obnoxious. But watched the movie, then I watched the second episode, and then I was like, fuck this. And like you, I only watched that second episode so I had more to talk about because then I can go, oh, this is the direction of the show. So the direction of the show is the boy who's a teenager at this point, he's not a boy because the doctor goes on a mission to track down the killer. And he does that by like slowly embedding himself into the entertainment industry because he reasons that it was somebody in the industry who did that to his, I want to say his mom, but it's not his fucking mom. It's not his fucking mom. It's not his goddamn mother.
It is now.
Yeah. So so that's his strategy. So we see a little bit of that. The cancer girl, she's just straight up like full blown, I'm going to become an idol now. And then as siblings, they still get along fairly well and they have a good like rapport between them.
Yeah.
But he tries to prevent her from getting into the industry because he's worried that it'll like fuck her up, I guess. And he kind of parents her, which makes sense because he's older than her, right? In the sense of he was like a man and she was a fucking like still basically a child,
like mentally older.
Right, exactly. And that's the premise of the show.
Wow.
I mean, that's where it goes. Okay. Things I liked about it. Because, I mean, I did finish the first episode. And I have a 30-minute rule, and it made it past 30 minutes. It's animated beautifully. I mean, I say this a lot about a lot of modern anime. But it's gorgeous. It's a very gorgeous show. The pop songs are very catchy. Like the idol songs they come up with for the show. They're catchy. That's fun. I almost had to... I think I skipped a bit during that first movie. I think I skipped like a few parts where I was dragging. I was like, all right, enough. I want to see like get to what's actually happening. The premise is fucking stupid, but I thought maybe it would like turn me around where I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm kind of getting this now, but it just didn't happen. I couldn't get over how stupid the premise was, and it to me is just like, you want to know a better way to do this? How about the doctor is a fanboy, but instead, so the doctor is a fanboy. Ai has her babies, but she still gets killed. But the doctor, in his normal body, decides to try to hunt down the killer. How about just that?
Yeah.
Okay. Or how about this? How about the son and daughter of an idol try to hunt down the killer, but they're not from a previous life? Like, I don't get what the point of that was. That's my question is, why did it need that extra supernatural shit? Like, it doesn't really add anything, and I think it makes it goofy and dumb. Like, I don't like that bullshit part to it. And then it's like, there's like borderline incest shit in it, in a sense. You get where you knew this was coming. Because think about it, it's like, that's not his mom, but he's attracted to her. You know what I mean? He's in the body of her son, but he's got his own mind. But that's his mom. Like, that's some incest shit. And it's also like, there's also jokes about like, oh, she's of age, she's 16, which like, fuck, please, for the love of God, Japan, stop sexualizing girls. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, to us, we'd be like, oh, fuck off, that's a child, you know. But Japan's very weird about their age of consent and all that shit, and the age of maturity where they're willing to sexualize girls there, unfortunately. So all that shit was just, that was extra crap that I don't like in animes. I'm trying to think of positives for it. The voice acting's solid. It's good. That's about it.
Yeah.
Now let's get into things I didn't like. I think the premise is stupid. I think they just tweaked it a bit, it would have been a way more interesting show. I also don't find either the doctor or cancer girl interesting. And actually what I was most disappointed about is I heard about this show like from other anime people, like literally just talking to them at my store, and I also read a bit about it. And what I thought it was going to be was something like, have you ever heard of Perfect Blue?
No.
Okay, so Perfect Blue is an anime movie from I think the 80s or early 90s, and it's one of the best adult anime films ever made. Just definitively. It's made by Satoshi Kon, which all that guy did was like mature, like grounded animes that even if you don't like anime, you could like this guy's work. Anyways, Perfect Blue is a thriller it's a psychological thriller about an idol who's being pursued by a stalker. And it's basically a horror movie in some sense.
Okay.
Doesn't that sound way more interesting than the bullshit that I just pitched you?
Yeah.
Right. And so what I was hoping for at first is I was like, oh, is this going to be like Perfect Blue, the show? Because that would be cool. I'd be down for that. Or I thought it might have been a show that was like about idol culture. So it's like about just an idol in general and the life of a pop star, you know, but in Japanese culture where it's its own specific culture. That would have been interesting. And they do give you bits of that. So, okay, another positive is they give you some bits of that where you get to see the inner workings, and they talk about how dirty and grimy the industry is, like any kind of pop culture, you know, media part. Like, it's all grimy shit, and there's like shady, sleazy directors and casting you know, like they give you a little bit of that inner working bit to it. And that's probably when the show's at its best, is when you get to see that part. But the premise to me is so fucking stupid and so unnecessary. And I've read a little bit ahead, and apparently it gets like even more fucked up, but I won't get into it. I'll just say the cancer girl had a crush on the doctor, and I'll leave it there. Yeah, I'll let you make your own predictions on that. That's all I got to say. Did you know anything about this anime? Like, did you even heard of it?
Well, I think you may have mentioned it.
Yeah, because you heard it from me. Yeah, you heard it from me being like, and it was probably me being like, have you heard of Oshi no Ko? And you were probably like,
yeah,
no.
Literally, that's it. That's all I've heard about it.
Yeah.
The name.
That's all I've got to say. Holy fuck, that was quite the rant. I know I'm gonna get flayed for saying I hated this anime. Of all the anime on my list, this one was my least favorite. And it was my least favorite. And I know I'm gonna get flayed for this, but Didn't hook me. I think it's a dumb premise, and it could have, if they just tweaked the plot, it could have been way more interesting, and it doesn't deliver. Tonally, it's a mess. It's equal parts tries to be goofy and serious and wants you to take its material seriously. I just didn't connect with it. But I know it's extremely popular, and I know the manga was extremely popular, and because of that, there was a shitload of hype about this anime, and that's actually why they did the first episode as a film.
Yeah.
Because there was so much hype, they knew they could get away with it, so they were like, we're gonna make it a premiere event, like the Oshinoko film, like debut. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That it makes more sense now, but so it has a huge fan base, but it's not for me. Sorry, folks. Very rarely are you gonna hear me like actually recommend an anime. It's not. It's very rarely gonna happen. You're gonna get more recommendations from this side of the table. Yeah.
Mostly all recommendations from this side of the table, with obvious exceptions.
All right, what do you got next? Magical
right.
Destroyers. Magical Destroyers.
Oh gosh, don't do this to me.
Magical Destroyers season 2.
Never again. Well, you know what? Let's talk more resurrection and reincarnation.
We should mention that so far, with the exception of Demon Slayer, everything we've said so far was just the first season.
Yeah.
Yeah. We should mention that. So if it is not the first season we're talking about, we will specifically tell you this season. So like season 1, season 2, or as Demon Slayer is doing it now because arcs. I guess we're going to start that shit. But we will specify. So if you don't hear us say arc, season, or you know, if we don't hear us mention a specific season number or an arc, then it's just the first season. So it's debut. It's a new show. But you probably already know that.
All right, so I'll dive into this one because it's also got several time skips.
All right.
And reincarnation.
All right.
So the Aristocrats' Otherworldly Adventures, Serving Gods Who Go Too Far.
Oh, what a fucking mouthful.
It's quite the mouthful.
All right.
So essentially, this man is...
Is this an isekai? You know what I mean by that?
No, I don't.
Oh, isekai is like... let me just look up the term for isekai so I don't even butcher this because I'm sure... I know what it is, but I know that if I don't say it right... Okay, so it's a specific genre of anime, so it translates to Otherworld or Another World and covers a genre of fiction that involves a character being put into an unfamiliar world and having to learn how to survive.
Then so yes.
Anytime it's like a character gets dropped into a fantasy world or reincarnates, and like Sword Art Online is actually considered an isekai in that like the characters are stuck in this digital world. Like Digimon would be an isekai.
The time I was reincarnated as a slime.
That's exactly, that's an isekai, yeah. So that isekai is one of the prominent genres right now of anime.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, and it's become very formulaic. Like Shield Hero, did you ever watch Shield Hero?
Yep, I've still got to catch up on season 2, but
there you go. So, okay, so is it one of those?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Okay.
So, essentially, our main character, he is outside a convenience store, and he witnesses these two girls being chased by a man with a knife. He gets involved, winds up dead, and through some twist of fate, he wakes up in the body of a 3-year-old in this magical land. But
I hate everything about this already, and all I've seen is this poster. I hate this. No.
I've actually got a point about that exact poster that I'll mention in a bit.
Those are children.
But so
I'm also not a fan of isekais in general.
He realizes he's got all of his memories at the age of 3 and finds out that there is magic in his world. Not to mention he's the son of...
You mean in the new world? Like the world he wakes up in?
Yes.
Yeah.
So he's also the son of a noble. So he comes from money.
This sounds like such a formula.
But
isekai.
He starts studying magic at the young age of 3. And he's really developing. He's quite talented in the magical arts for a 3-year-old.
Right.
But pretty quick, we start getting into the time skips. We jump to 5, where his baptism is basically going before the gods, but not quite before the gods, to earn their approval, which determines your stats and magical power. And as the title
So they
suggests,
control magic?
Yes.
Okay, so somehow the gods control magic. Yeah.
So it essentially determines itself, their overall magic, what abilities they can use. For example, like sword play. And as the title suggests, the gods go too far. Typical like max level mages top out at 5. In a particular skill.
Once again, the title of this anime is Chronicles of an Aristocrat Reborn in another World, right? Or did I say that wrong?
Well, the anime is the aristocrat's otherworldly adventure, serving gods who go too far.
Oh, sorry. So, but this is the same. This is the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, so they changed the name from the manga. Interesting.
Maybe it's just like the translation
that
went better on Crunchyroll.
Yeah, it makes sense.
They literally have a section where they had to rename anime because it didn't fit in the character limit.
One of the problems with Japanese titles is they're usually nonsensical.
Yeah.
The Japanese love to just do these wordy, just mishmash titles for shit. Yeah. Guy who did a thing with a fantasy world and a girl and a diamond and a sword. Like it's like shit like that.
Right away, the thing that stood out to me with this show is it's similar to Yu Yu Hakusho in the sense that his sacrifice that killed him was totally pointless. The girls were going to survive. He was going to trip, drop his knife, and get arrested. He served no purpose. The gods took pity on him and reincarnated him into this world, and they were supposed to give him his memories later in his life. But something went wrong, so he gained his memories at the age of 3.
Okay. Continue.
They went a little too far with his magical power. And he's essentially 2 times stronger than the strongest mage. Or so it would suggest. Because like max level, they usually cap out is 5.
They actually say 5? Like, do they actually say
no,
they're like you're at level 5?
In
like
terms of their blessings,
yeah,
it's like ranked level 1 through 5.
Okay,
and
so they actually
5
say
is the highest.
Yeah, they say the number.
And like
they give a numerical value to how much magic you have. Okay.
It's a little odd.
Right?
They can actually like
Is it?
They can use a spell that opens their status so you can see their levels, their XP, like their stats and different skills, their titles.
Oh, this is such an isekai. Okay, yeah.
But
so he's basically in a video game world.
Essentially.
Yeah, he's in a role-playing world. Yeah. But a role-playing game.
So yeah, they go too far. He's leveling up too fast.
Right.
He's raising suspicion, but he's got to be careful because if he raises too much suspicion, the world will see him as a threat, and then it's a problem. So he's kind of got to dial it back and take things slow, which he's not so good at.
Why did they overbless him?
That does get touched on, but it's like later. So I don't want to.
Okay.
Don't want to spoil that.
Sure. All right.
I mean,
I'm already hooked.
This is actually one of my recommendations. I'll be honest with you.
Hey, no problem.
But
folks, this is why we both are on this podcast. Is we're gonna bring you different shit. Simple as that. There's no point in us both just saying the same fucking thing and liking the same shit. So
like, no, I kind of liked how they introduced it as, him regaining his memories. And then they real quick about the time skips. So like, I think where I'm at, he's like 12 years old or something.
Okay.
So they're gradual, but like they do skip ahead to
I'm a fan of
3
time
years
skips.
at a time.
I'm a fan of time skips. Yeah.
Kind of progress it. They don't dawdle like over.
Yeah, get to the actual shit that we want to see. Yeah, I'm a fan of time skips in general.
So that part I do appreciate.
Yep.
And I'm a big fan of the fact that he tries to avoid conflict because it's just another opportunity to showcase his power and the gap between him and literally everyone else.
Right.
To give you an idea, he could probably tank the entire kingdom.
Okay.
He is stronger than their strongest fighter.
Okay, so it's the not to shit on it, but one of the big problems with isekais is the main character is usually OP.
Yeah.
As fuck, and that's exactly what you're describing. where they're just way overpowered and overleveled. Yeah, but continue.
But see, I enjoy. There's nothing.
How many episodes is this?
12.
And how many did you watch?
I think I'm on 8 or 9.
Okay, and you're gonna finish it.
100%.
Okay.
But I love when animes give power-ups, but they don't take them away, you know? Like, when a character gets a power-up, they don't immediately go into a fight where that power-up means nothing.
Okay.
So, like...
You mean like when a character gets an ability and then and then they forget they have that ability, or that ability becomes redundant?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So it's like One Punch Man. He's still going to one-punch things, right?
Right.
They don't just take that away from him.
Right, I know what you mean.
So, like, he's powerful. We all know he's powerful.
Right.
And they don't make him lose. And I really respect that. But there is potential for him to lose.
Okay. Because he has some weakness or some shit?
No,
Girls with big boobs. Whoa. No, I don't know. But I have no idea.
But no, I will.
His only upskirt, or his only weakness is upskirt panty shots.
I'll leave his weakness in the wind.
Okay, fair enough.
So I will not say whether it's an actual weakness or not.
Okay.
But,
what did you like about it?
I mean,
I fucking hate this art style, but I guess it didn't bother you.
It did it first.
Oh, it's so that art style looks like how to draw anime. Like, you know those fucking like guides, you know what I'm talking about? That's what that looks like. They just look like stock anime, like stock big-eyed anime characters.
Yeah.
Colored hair and like purple hair and blue hair. It's just so fucking stock looking.
Yeah. But like so Crunchyroll started doing this thing.
Yeah.
Where they just automatically play it dubbed if they have it dubbed.
We haven't talked about this. Do you normally watch your stuff dubbed or subbed?
I'll watch it however I can get it.
Okay, but what do you prefer?
Well, I usually get way ahead of the dubbed, so I tend to default to subbed.
Yeah, subbed is the way. That is the way. I'm not 100% against dubs. There are incredible dubs, but generally, give me the sub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, this one, it started playing dubbed.
Yeah.
And it took me all of 30 seconds of him reincarnating as a 3-year-old to quickly change that setting. That voice was annoying.
Oh, I think we might have to listen to that. Oh, let me see if I can bring this up. Oh, there we go. Episode 1 to 12 English dubbed. Wow, somebody uploaded the entire fucking series.
Incredible.
Does he talk in this scene?
Right there, yeah.
Who you are. Don't worry. He's probably just confused, madam. He has been asleep for a week after all.
Yes, that's a good point. Your fever's definitely gone down, but you should rest a bit more. Oh, that's right.
Talk,
you must be
damn you.
starving. A little bit of soup and you'll be as good as new. Sylvia?
Of course. I'll bring some right away.
Is he going to talk or what?
You just rest until it gets here, okay?
At some point, yeah.
Excuse
So I gotta
me.
skip
Should
ahead.
be like right here,
Were
maybe.
those two Sylvia and my mother?
Oh, it's the adult doing a baby voice shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck off.
It-
Why don't they just hire a baby? I'm just kidding. Why is that? Like, why is that such a problem?
No, but that
fuck
drove me
that.
up the wall.
I wonder why. Yeah, that was fucking awful.
Anyway. Yeah, I liked the reincarnation bit, obviously isekai, you know. I really into that. But the power-ups that aren't meaningless,
Sorry,
the effort
Didn't mean to hit
that he's putting in to learn about his new world and whatnot. The overall story, I don't have any faults with it. But what I will say, he's 10 years old.
Right?
Okay.
I wonder where you're going with this, John.
Why does a 10-year-old need a harem?
Oh, it turns into that, does it?
I mean, like,
this is a fantasy, so.
to its credit, he's not into it at all.
Right.
So, like, I can appreciate that, but, like, he's already got so many engagements. Like,
Right.
I mean, that right there. Why does he need a harem?
Because This is probably a fantasy for younger males, so that's where this is coming from.
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe.
it's formula, right? Because it's isekai is like a power fantasy. Like that's I mean, that's shonen as well, but part of they're usually ain't targeted at boys, right? Like that's usually the target audience. I mean, you fucking like it,
Yeah.
right? So that's exactly it. That's what comes of it. I hate this. just that one clip that we saw already was just made my skin crawl. I was like,
Yeah.
nope, not doing it.
Well, subbed certainly did it better, but
Obviously, but this is not. I don't watch shit. Sorry, I'm trying not to shit on your picks, but I don't watch things like this.
yeah.
This is not
Well,
for me.
You see, I expect this from you.
Right?
So
Yeah, we know
I-
this about me.
I am familiar with your opinions.
Fair enough. What else do you have? Anything else you'd like to say about Chronicles of an Aristocrat, Reborn in Another World, or sorry, whatever the anime title is?
The issue I'm running into right now is there's plenty of stuff I like about it,
Mm-hmm.
but I can't quite get into it spoiler free, and I don't really want to get into spoilers.
No, they did change the title for some reason. The Aristocrats' Otherworldly Adventure Serving Gods Who Go Too Far. Right.
I like it. I
All right.
like the new name better.
So you have nothing else to add about this show?
No, not really, because
Okay.
I'm treading very carefully.
I am totally cool with you no longer talking about this show. That's not a problem for me. Okay. And we will go to my next pick here. All right. My favorite show on my list so far. No, not so far. In general, my favorite show that I watched from the spring 2023 block of anime, Heavenly Delusion.
Okay.
Have you heard, or is this on your list at all, or no?
Not at all.
Okay, so have you heard of this even?
No, not even a little bit.
Okay, so you have no fucking clue what this is. Okay. So, the premise is we're in the future. It's post-apocalyptic, and there's these two younger characters. I'll call them kids, but they're like probably like 15, 16. Like I think they're more like teenagers, like not young adults, but they're not really children. I mean,
Yeah.
they are to me, but not young, you know what I mean? And they're walking around a ruined, destroyed human civilization. So cities are crumbling and falling apart. There's thieves and bandits everywhere. And what humans remain are clustered in like small little communities and oddball groups. And basically everyone's just trying to make the best of, like everyone's just trying to survive. There's no real order. Like no one's in charge. Every community has their own little rules and things. And everybody's just trying to figure everything out for themselves. So we follow these two, and they're on a mission to find heaven. That's literally what they're trying to find. So Heavenly Delusion is the English name for it. The Japanese name is Tengoku Daimakyou, which I might have actually said that half decently. But Heavenly Delusion, if you're trying to look it up, that's what you're going to look for. So they're on a mission to find heaven, which is a rumored place that one of the characters believes two of her past friends might be. It's like it's a place that she heard from rumor that she heard when she was younger. And I won't get into too many spoilers, but they're basically going around similar to like Last of Us or something like that. They're trying to traverse a torn apart human civilization that's like on the brink of extinction, and they're trying to find this place they don't really know much about it. So it's a mystery show and that you slowly learn a little bit as you watch it. It's very slow burn. It takes its time unveiling its plot and pacing everything out. It has excellent pacing. Each episode follows their exploits trying to survive, and they run into different characters and meet different groups, and sometimes they have to fight to survive, including humans. part of the reason humanity was destroyed was these giant weird creatures started just coming up out of nowhere. Kind of like, they're not huge per se, but they're pretty large. They're like the size of like a car, maybe the size of a bus. And they're some of them are insectoids, some of them aren't, some of them are just more like animals, but they're these giant like monsters. And they refer to them, the main characters refer to them as man-eaters. And some other people do. Some other people call them different things, though. But essentially, these giant creatures pop up out of nowhere and wipe most of humanity out. No one knows where they came from, why they're there. Some people have theories, but nobody knows 100%. And that's part of the mystery and allure of the show. While we are following the two main characters, we're also following a bunch of young children in a biosphere. So you know what I mean by that? So it's like an artificial environment where it's like it's like a greenery. It's like a giant greenhouse kind of idea, but it's all like scientific and medical. And there's a bunch of children that are in some sort of experiment, and we don't really know what. And we just know there's a bunch of children, and there's a bunch of scientists, and they're trying to figure something out with these children, or they're using them for something, and they slow roll it throughout the entire season. Even now, I don't know 100% what the point, like what the object of that experiment was. They leave it vague. There's a lot of mysteries in the show, to its credit, and you can definitely. It takes its time, builds its world, hooks you in. The characters are fantastic, and the pacing is so good. You get invested in the characters, and you get invested in the world where you want to know the answers. You want to know the answers to the mysteries, and it does such a good job of like slowly doling them out. I don't even know if the bits, so it cuts between the children in the experiment and then the two main characters, which I'll call them brother and sister. They're not actually brother and sister, but I think the one guy does call the girl his sister.
Okay.
And it cuts between them randomly. I'm not even 100% that the bits with the children in the lab takes place at the same time. Like, I think they take place at different periods in time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think the bit with the children is actually in the past. And I'll leave it there. I don't want to get into too much spoilers. Go into the show as cold as you can. Don't look up a lot on this show. It's very similar to, have you ever watched Promised Neverland?
I have.
If you like Promised Neverland, you're probably going to really like this show. It's very similar in that it slow rolls its mystery. It's very mature. There's not a lot of comedy bullshit. It's very serious. It's a seinen anime. It's made for adults. It's very mature at times. There's some dark shit that happens in the show. There's some fucked up shit that happens in the show. And it takes its world building very seriously and does a good job of it. The animation is excellent. It's very well animated. The action sequences are very well done. Good direction. It does a really good job of giving you that post-apocalyptic world. The world building is really good in it. That like every town they enter, all the buildings are like half crumbling, and they like the first episode, they're like going into houses and looking for supplies. It's if you like anything post-apocalyptic and science fiction-y, like Last of Us, you will love this show. And that's really all I've got to say about it. I can't gush enough about this show. It was my favorite show that I watched in the spring anime block. I thought it was very well done. I would say if I have any criticisms, I would say there are comedy bits in there, and sometimes the comedy, it doesn't quite hit for me personally. Some of it is a little too on the nose, like anime tropey, like, I can see her bosoms. Like, there's some of that bullshit in there, which I'm not a fan of, but I understand that's part of the genre. If it was up to me, I'd have everything as serious as possible, and none of that goofy shit would be in there. But I understand I'm in the minority on that, and most anime fans, they accept that as just part of the genre. But yeah, Heavenly Delusion, phenomenal, very good show. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's got to be pretty good if you're recommending it.
Well, I mean, if you put any faith in my taste, then yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not ever. I'm sure few people align with my taste. But if you want a slow burn, serious, post-apocalyptic science fiction anime, this is it. This is really good. So I finished the first season. The ending was a little anticlimactic, but I'm not gonna fault it because as long as it doesn't get canceled, it's okay because we're gonna continue in the next season.
Yeah.
So it doesn't end on like a dick-breaking cliffhanger per se, but it leaves a lot of like loose threads and a lot of the mysteries aren't solved. So, but I'm okay with that. Like,
Yeah.
personally, that's fine because the pacing is so good in the show that it's fine. Yeah. Great characters too. Fantastic characters. Like relatable characters, which is like they feel human. They don't feel like tropes. Remember what we were bitching about with fucking coincidentally the other show, Heaven's Delusion and Hell's Paradise.
Yeah.
Very similar titles. We got Heaven and Hell in this episode. And Hell's Paradise, a lot of those characters just felt like stock. Heavenly Delusion, the characters feel like real fucking people. Like you can relate to these people. And it's great. It's excellent. It's well done. So there you go. This podcast is sponsored by Fly By Night Movies, Games, and Toys. Fly By Night is your one-stop shop for all things anime, including movies, Funko Pops, video games, and hundreds of anime figures. Fly By Night is located in downtown Oshawa. That is Oshawa, Ontario, Canada. Yes, this is a Canadian podcast. Once again, that is Fly By Night Movies, Games, and Toys. Come check us out. We're worth the drive. All right, now hit me with some other isekai that I'm going to fucking hate. What do you got?
Well, funny enough,
What do you got?
I got Dead Mount Death Play.
Dead Mount Death Play. What the fuck is this? Go ahead.
So, essentially, it's about someone being resurrected into another world. They're pretty vague about who specifically it is. But there's this epic battle in the past between two necromancers. And the way they play it out is that necromancers, for the most part, are evil. They see like the souls of the damned and the spirits of the people that die. They hang around their killers. Well, they can use those spirits to enhance their powers and kick your ass.
Okay.
So we're in a battle against this brave knight who can use these abilities, and I don't remember the name they give him, but he's essentially death, like sort of like the Demon King. The Demon King character, he casts a bit of a spell the soldier's not familiar with. He casts a spell of his own. Their attacks collide. And someone, again, very vague about who, is reincarnated into the body here that you see.
The guy with the
middle.
white hair?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. The guy wearing a white and black shirt.
And he wakes up, his throat's slit, and he has no idea where he is. He's
Okay.
modern Japan. And it's kind of about him kind of figuring out where he's at, what's going on, this unfamiliar world as per isekai.
Right.
And it was really cool. They did this bit where the police stop him because he's literally got a slit throat. He's still got blood running down his neck. And they're trying to ask him if he's okay. But the way they're talking to him is literally just... And in his mind, he's like, what are they trying to say? Like, what language is this? And the memories of the body he's currently in slowly start to bubble forward. And he goes, oh, right, that's Japanese. And then it's real quick about the police officers now speaking the same language. It clears up the gibberish, and we can actually understand them, as can our main character.
Okay.
And not long after that, we discover that he's a target for assassination, and the person who slit that body's throat is coming back for more.
In modern Japan, though?
Well, so the body he reincarnated in
Yeah.
was murdered. So when he reincarnated, he literally stepped into a corpse.
Oh, okay. Because I
Yeah.
thought he died in ancient Japan.
Well, he despawned, essentially.
So he did die,
Well, it
kind of. Whatever.
vague
It's left
about
vague.
that,
So
yeah.
he's kind of dead, but then he came into this body in modern Japan. But that guy actually was murdered.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Now, immediately it suggests there's no magic. He can't use magic anymore. The body is in his frail,
Right.
and he's struggling to fight this assassin.
Okay.
But she takes him to this like assassin hideout type place where the Yakuza kill people,
Okay.
torture, kill people. And he quickly discovers that in this specific location, there are enough souls of the damned that he can awaken his magical abilities.
Okay. So he finds out he can actually use his magic in modern Japan. Yeah.
And-
in this new body as well.
And he's the only one.
Right.
Or so it would suggest.
Right.
And then it becomes this big thing. He murders his assassin, but he doesn't want to murder her. So he resurrects her as a zombie. And the team that she works for that ordered the assassination of this body shows up. And they basically come to an agreement that he is no longer the soul that belonged to that body. She will no longer be taking contracts on his life. And they're working together. And I haven't watched far enough for what exactly they're working together for.
Yeah, I was going to say, what is
clear.
the main conflict of this show? Because I'm looking at this poster and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? There's like a guy in the top right who's like, "Meek," like with red eyes. He looks like a demon. There's a guy who looks like he's from Demon Slayer. It's just a bandaged mummy guy. Like, what am I looking at? Or is any of this shit shown? How many episodes in are you?
Like 4.
And has any of this shit shown up other than this dude?
I mean, all the people standing with him, or more or less, most of the people that are standing with him there,
Yeah.
I've seen.
So,
I've seen Bandage Guy,
Yeah.
but it hasn't really.
But is he from the
revealed
past
anything.
or is he from the current timeline?
I believe he's from the current timeline, but I don't know. Maybe he traveled forward too.
So the plot is this guy, this magic user from ancient Japan, right?
Yes.
Do you know his name?
No idea.
Gabby Maru. So Gabby Maru from ancient Japan he's in a duel, right? And they right as they were both striking a killing blow on each other, he goes to modern Japan and he's in this body of this random kid,
Yes.
right? He's like a teenager, it looks like, right? And then he now is what? Trying to figure out what he's going to do, I guess? He's just trying to figure out like what the fuck's going on. Like I guess he's trying to figure out like what he's going to do in this situation.
Yeah, it was episode 1. I can throw out the spoiler.
Oh, if it's in the first one or two episodes, absolutely, dude.
So,
Yeah,
like-
absolutely.
It was one of the things I like. It was a bit of a plot twist, because it suggested that the hero was transported through time, but it was actually the villain.
Oh, okay, interesting. So he's
And
technically the
that
bad guy.
unknown spell that he cast was a resurrection spell to travel through time to escape his current life.
Okay.
So, from what I've seen, his purpose for the spell was to escape his past life because everyone painted this picture of him, picture of him
No,
as
Victor.
a villain.
Yeah, you got
Yes,
it, Victor. That's what happens if everybody paints you as a villain. It's a Victor. It's
Yeah.
not a picture.
But they paint
It's from
this
his
picture of him.
background. Yeah, his vorigins, if you will, his vorigins.
His
All day,
vor-
folks. All
his
day.
vorigin
His
vorigin.
vorigins. Yeah, his vorigins. It's villain origins.
But,
They do a lot of vorigins in Demon Slayer.
So they paint this picture of him as the villain in the past, and anything that he loved was essentially killed because they saw him as the villain.
Okay.
But the more they tried to do this to him, the more he stepped into that role as the villain.
Right.
So to escape that, he went forward in time when nobody knew him, and he's in this whole new body, whole new world for a fresh start.
Right.
And there's actually a bit of a thing that he gets into with Buddy with the headphones there.
Yep.
It's
A guy who looks like he's from the game The World Ends With You. Yeah.
yes.
Or
So-
he also looks like he might be out of a Persona game.
Yeah.
Honestly,
So-
everyone there looks like they might be in a Persona game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so they get into this discussion because he's quite literally like messing about with the souls of the dead. And he even has a conversation with the soul that belongs in his body.
Right.
Like he's given that body he's put him in a drone. So they have this discussion where he says, so like, what are these souls to you? And he says, oh, they're kind of like toys.
Right.
And he's immediately like, this guy's a monster. He views a human soul as a toy, like
Right.
his plaything. But it very quickly becomes clear that when he says toy, he doesn't mean a plaything. He means a toy because it's something precious to him
Oh, okay.
that he wouldn't want to be damaged.
Interesting. Yeah.
So maybe he's not as much of a villain as he was
yeah.
painted out to be.
Okay. So it's not black and white. It's more gray. Yeah.
Yeah. See, that to me,
I got to say, compared to the last one that you just talked about, this is more interesting.
yeah.
I'm way more interested in this. This is kind of an isekai because he gets teleported to modern Japan.
Yeah.
But
It's a completely new world.
yeah, it's a completely new world exactly to him.
But I found that very fascinating.
So, but what is the main conflict of the show though? Is the other jackass gets teleported too, and then he's hunting him down, or
So we see the flashback, which is when they reveal
that he was the bad guy?
that
Yeah.
he was the one that went forward.
Right.
And one of the soldiers goes, "Oh, that's it. You defeated him." And the soldier's standing there. He's just, or the knight rather.
Yeah.
He says, "I don't know. Something feels off about this."
Right.
It's like I don't think he's gone. Like I still kind of feel something there. And they're like, "Well, I mean, he's not here, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, let's just hope he's gone." And that's that. So it's not quite clear what's happened. I haven't quite seen enough to see the
To
conflict.
tell you the main conflict.
So like
okay,
they
so
kind of
so he's still by the fourth episode, he's still trying to figure out what he's gonna do in modern Japan,
Well,
and he's
he's-
befriended some yakuza assassin,
basically a group
chicks.
of hitmen.
Okay, yeah, and he
But,
befriends them.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, he's living with a few of them.
What's the tone of this? Is this comedic? This doesn't sound comedic. at
I
all.
wouldn't say so. It
Is it
seems
like- is
kind
it-
of dark.
Is it like Chainsaw Man kind of tone or not at all?
Uh,
Because Chainsaw Man is very dark, but it's got a lot of comedy in it. So is this more?
I mean, like, yeah, to some extent.
okay, so there is humor. in
Definitely the
this.
same kind of vibes.
So it's very similar to Chainsaw Man.
Yeah, a little
Okay,
bit.
Interesting.
So, from what I can gather from the first few episodes, they are sort of introducing a conflict. It's unclear to me what exactly it is.
Yeah.
But he gets into a fight with someone that was trying to kill someone that he liked. And he doesn't kill them, but he puts them into some sort of stasis.
Okay.
He tortured them,
Right.
but he kept them alive.
Okay.
Someone freed them and made them what they will. They're like their puppets, I guess. And that's about where I'm at. So
All right.
there is a definite enemy that has
Yeah.
potentially followed him to the future.
Our true enemy has yet to reveal himself. Okay. What did you like about it specifically?
Well, I kind of liked the humanizing the villain.
Yeah, I mean that's
know?
neat. I think that's cool.
It was
I mean
pretty
that's
awesome.
right now. That's hot. I mean, you got movies like Joker and shit like that. I
Yeah,
mean, like
like-
people want to hear from the bad guy. No, I don't think. I think people are just done with black and white villains now. Like we
Yeah.
want grays. Gray villains are way more interesting. you
Yeah.
know? That's the shit I like too.
So, like, I don't know. Just I liked how he sort of stepped into the role of villain, but the
Yeah.
whole time it was kind of like, okay, I've got to get out of this.
Yeah,
That was really cool to me.
it's not what he wanted. I know. I hear you.
And his abilities are something else. I mean, he turned the one girl into a zombie.
Right.
She's got weird quirks with that now.
Okay, so there's weird like magical abilities in the show.
Yeah.
There's unique like powers and shit. What do you think?
Sorry, I lost my thought.
No, it's all right. What do you think of the animation style?
Oh, the animation's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have any issues with it.
I like this art style a fuck of a lot better than the last one. This just looks like a fucking role-playing game.
Yeah.
This looks like a Persona game or some sort of like game that Atlas would produce.
Yeah.
Like that kind of shit.
See, I really like...
But I like this art
and
style.
I appreciate the, like, the spell circles that they cast when he's using magic.
Yeah.
Or necromancy, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, that's really cool.
They're like intricate designs. Yeah, they
Yeah.
kind of look like Doctor Strange, like type, whatever you want to call those, like the magic circles.
It's like
kind of like Full Metal. A little bit.
like
yeah.
alchemical symbols.
Exactly. Yeah. Cool.
But all of that was pretty cool. So far, I don't really have any dislikes.
I was gonna say anything that's bugging you already, or no?
Yeah, not at all.
Just that you haven't watched more episodes, probably.
Yeah, basically.
Matt, it's more of an insult, more of an issue you have with yourself and your
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to speed run everything, and
Right.
I didn't give this one the attention it deserved.
No, that's fine. I might actually check it out. I might actually take a recommendation from you.
It might actually be one you like.
It might actually, because I liked Chainsaw Man.
Yeah.
So I might actually like this. I'll give it a shot. And either it's gonna, and I'm either just gonna go, I'll know immediately in the first episode. I'll know because I've seen a lot of shows like this that are kind of similar-ish.
They promise a lot, under-deliver.
Yeah. So I'll give it a shot. Yeah, it's interesting. Okay. All right, Dead Mount Deathplay. I fucking think that name is a little nonsensical, but it's fine.
Honestly, I kind of like it.
Dead Mount Deathplay.
I mean,
it's okay.
He's essentially
it's an
playing
anime
with the souls of the dead, right?
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. It's an anime-esque name.
Yeah.
You know, it's not super catchy, but I mean, you like it. I think it's personally, I think it's a little nonsensical, but I mean, it's an anime name.
Yeah. I mean,
how many you got more left in your list? I only got one.
Me too. And I'm pretty sure we've crossed over on this one.
I think this is the one that we both watched. Is it Mashle?
It is.
Mashle. Can I describe what is the actual full title? Mashle, Magic and Muscles. This is the very first season of this show. I will explain the plot of this show in a couple sentences. Are you ready? One Punch Man, Harry Potter. I think that's it.
Well, I mean, technically, you could throw Black Clover into the mix.
Sure, I haven't seen Black Clover, so I wouldn't even know.
He doesn't have magic, and he's competing with wizards.
Okay, there you go. So I didn't even know that was the plot of Black Clover.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that at all. It is a satirical anime that takes the piss out of Harry Potter. It's literally One Punch Man level of humor and nonsensical ridiculousness and making fun, because One Punch Man is all about making fun of superhero tropes and that whole genre. Mashle is about making fun of the Harry Potter and Harry Potter clone adjacent type properties. So it's about it's making fun of the whole Magic Academy shit, which is a big fucking subgenre of anime.
Yeah,
that's a huge subgenre, but that's really what it's doing. What'd you think? What'd you think about Mashle?
Oh, I loved it.
I already said at the beginning of this show that I am not really into comedy type animes.
Yeah.
That being said, I for a while really liked One Punch Man. I thought it was very good. So there's exceptions. And I mean Chainsaw Man, you could call that show a comedy.
Yeah.
You know, and I liked Chainsaw Man. I didn't finish the first season. I got to episode 4 or 5 and then I was like, "Okay, I've seen enough. It's good. I don't think it's amazing. I didn't hook me that I'd keep watching it, but for what it is, it's well made. You know, it's well done. The comedy is good. The animation is good. The voice acting is good. The humor is good. It's just a funny, stupid show. I just don't think it was anything special. I don't think it has the god tier animation of One Punch Man, and I don't think it's as slickly written as One Punch Man. But I thought it was still well made. And I mean, I enjoyed watching it for what it was, but I just didn't love it, you know. Which, and I really got it. Like, for me to get into a show, I really got to like it. That being said, I fucking finished Hell's Paradise.
Yeah.
But I mean, Hell's Paradise, that's it. I'm done. But anyway, so Mashle, I don't know. What did you like about it?
I don't know. I just like the comedy to it. You know, just the fact that he can cancel out spells with his knuckles.
I guess we should kind of explain the plot a little bit. So it's
Yeah.
like, so the main character is your typical OP main character. He's way overpowered, but
Yeah.
he's overpowered in a weird way. So is it Mashle's the main guy, right?
Mash.
There's
is
Mash.
The main guy.
Okay, so Mash, the main guy, who's this guy right here, he's basically a simpleton that in this world, everybody has like innate magical abilities. It's basically we're in like the world of Harry Potter.
Yeah.
And everybody can do magic and everybody has the ability to do magic. And to do magic, they use wands, right?
Yeah.
Or did I make that up?
I'm pretty sure they use wands.
Pretty sure they use wands. Yeah, I think they do. So it's the world of Harry Potter. Everybody can use magic, except there's muggles. But the muggles, unlike, because muggles in the Harry Potter world, is it muggle?
Yeah.
Am I making that up? It's
No,
muggle,
no,
right?
I think you got it
That's
right.
the That's the people that can't do magic, right?
I think so, yeah.
In Harry Potter, the muggles and the wizards are separated. The wizarding world and the muggle world are completely separated, and they're supposed to be secret. Like the muggle world isn't really aware of the wizarding world, right? But in Mashle, it's they're put together. They're in the same world, but I believe the muggles are eradicated,
Yes.
right?
They're inferior, so they are eliminated.
Right. So they execute them as a way to like purify the race or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
Clean
yeah.
the bloodline.
That's exactly it. Yeah. There's a term for that, but I can't think of what it is. But yeah. So Mash, the main guy, is he is a muggle. So he is a guy that has no innate magical ability, and he gets raised by, what is the relationship with that old guy?
He literally just finds him.
That's
Like
all.
a
That's
baby in a
right.
basket.
That's right. That's right. But wasn't he trying to kill himself?
I believe so. And then he found
And then he
Mash.
finds Mash. Okay, so there's an old guy that does have magical abilities, and in the first episode, they show it in a flashback. He's about to kill himself because he's actually a low-ranked like magic user.
And he's got terrible luck. Everything he does goes wrong.
Turns to shit, and then he's about to kill himself, and then he stumbles upon Mash, who's literally a baby in a crib, and he's like, "Oh, this poor child," and then he ends up like immediately forming a bond with Mash, and then he raises him. But he secretly raises Mash because he knows because Mash doesn't have
The line.
the line. So in this society, everybody has it looks like a facial tattoo. Everyone has a line on their face. Let's see if we can find a picture of like. So okay, so there's the picture of when Mash does have it, which is actually fake. That's not actually a real one. But everyone else has a line on their face. Yeah, we can see it right here, and that line indicates that you have innate magic within you.
Yeah.
If you don't have the line, then you're a muggle, and then they're gonna kill you basically
Yeah.
because they want to remove you from the race. And so the old man knows Mash doesn't have that line, so he knows he's a muggle, but he takes pity on him because he feels like the kid's a loser like him.
Yeah.
So he's like, I have nothing but bad luck. This poor soul also has unfortunate luck, so I'm going to raise him, and it'll make us both winners somehow. And he gets Mash to train in nothing but physical training. And it's exactly like One Punch Man in that, like, it's simple training, but he does it so much that he gets to the point where he's just God tier level of strength and speed. So he becomes like, he's essentially, what's the main guy's name in One Punch Man?
Saitama.
It is Saitama. So he's basically Saitama. So imagine Saitama. Is it Saitama? How do you say
Yeah.
it?
Saitama. Yeah.
Saitama. So it's basically Saitama. I want to say Saitama. Saitama. So it's basically Saitama in the world of Harry Potter.
Yeah, more or less.
That's essentially what it is. Because he can't, I mean, the only thing he can't do is like fly. But other than that, he pretty much has. Wow.
about that.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But like, basically he has like all of Saitama's abilities with the exception of like flight. And he has pretty much that level of strength. Pretty much.
Yeah,
not
more or less.
exactly, more or less. But a nonsensical, because like the introduction is him like bench pressing like a ton or something, and he's going
and
like
he's doing it,
and he's
like,
doing it like that fast.
I mean,
he's
can
just
literally
like
complete
shotgunning.
the entire workout routine in 5 minutes.
Right. It's just nonsense. Yeah, it's nonsense how strong MASH actually is. But
Yeah.
you have to go with it. It's a satire. It's comedy, right?
Yeah.
It's meant to be a joke. But MASH trained so much, his body, he trained it so much that he's become Saitama's level of strength and speed. And he gets discovered. So the thing with MASH is he's a simpleton.
Yep.
He's not very bright. He's actually pretty stupid.
Well, he's a musclehead.
Yeah, he's literally a musclehead. Like he's just a brain dead musclehead, but he's not a cocky musclehead at all because he has no interaction with humans.
Yeah.
Humans, like other people. He doesn't have any interaction with other people because the old man sheltered him. Like him and MASH live literally in a hut in the forest. So he's sheltered MASH from any real interaction with society other than he allows MASH to go out into the market and buy. What is he obsessed with?
So
Is it
he didn't give him permission to
right?
go.
He just went and did that. That's right.
He did it
Yeah.
anyway, yeah. But
And
it's
what is-
cream puffs.
It is cream puffs. I was gonna say it was cream puffs, right? Okay, yeah. So cream puffs. MASH has an insane sweet tooth.
Yeah.
Specifically cream puffs, and so then MASH goes. So he's a dumb musclehead, but he's not attitudey at all. He's got like this kind of personality.
Cream puff?
He talks very slow and controlled, but his emotions never raise. He's just constantly at like a low gear.
Yeah.
Like that's how MASH pretty much talks. He's always at a low gear.
I couldn't remember if the door was push or pull.
Right. He's very like matter of fact, blunt, talks slow. He just has no real emotions. He's almost emotionless.
Yeah.
He's almost like a golem, like a stone golem type. But that's part of the humor is that he's so blunt and brain dead that he does stupid shit.
Yeah.
So he goes into town and then gets discovered for not having a magical ability after an altercation with the police. They then track him down to their secluded hut, at which point MASH annihilates the cops. And then the one cop decides that he is going to use MASH and enroll MASH in the most prestigious magic academy in order. I don't really understand. I never really got what the cop's motivation was.
So I believe what it was he actually gets like a cash reward, and the cop wants a cut.
I thought it was that the cop hated the prodigies, and so he wanted MASH basically to fuck up the prodigies. That's how I interpreted it.
Yeah.
I thought he was using MASH as like revenge. It doesn't matter, folks. It's irrelevant. MASH ends up at an academy not any academy, the academy, right? It's like the academy for magic users. And then MASH has to work his way up the ranks to become, what was the term for, you know what I'm talking about?
I do.
I'll look it up. Wow, we're
Yeah.
trying
So
to.
I don't quite remember
Yeah,
myself.
it's like, so in the world of Mashle, there's like the top magic users are something. What the fuck were they called? Divine Visionary.
Yes.
He has to become a Divine Visionary. Sorry. So the top 1% of kids at this academy become Divine Visionaries. And Divine Visionaries, I believe, are the government, right? Like they're essentially
pretty well.
the governing body of this world. So they're the, what is it called in Harry Potter? The Magic Council?
Something like that. Yeah.
Whatever. The Magic Council, the guys that run everything. So the Divine Visionary. So that's Mashle's goal, is to rise to the ranks to the top 1% and become a Divine Visionary so that he can, because the cop gives him an alternative, right?
Yeah.
So the cop gives him an alternative, which is basically enroll in this academy, become a Divine Visionary, or I'm going to use the full weight of the government to basically execute you and lock up your father.
Yeah.
So he threatens his father, right? He
Yeah,
gives him
it's
the ultimatum, and then Mash
Basically, like, prove you're better than magic users
Yeah.
or die as less than one.
Right, exactly. And that's the setup, which then leads to shenanigans.
Yeah.
Because you've got a character that can't use magic in a school for magic. What could go wrong?
Everything.
Nuttiness. It's zany. The show is very zany. It's very goofy.
Yeah.
I'll say the humor's good. The animation's good. The thing I liked about it, so I have a lot of complaints, but the thing I liked about it that it does, I don't think the show's overly very original, but I like the mechanic of the scar on the face.
Yeah.
So Mash doesn't actually have one, but the old man and the cop give him a fake one that allows him to blend in so that nobody realizes that he doesn't have any magical ability. Yeah, see, they give him like a fake one on his face there. But normally he wouldn't have that, but everybody else has those scar. But I think that's a neat mechanic. And then, so I think that's a cool design choice. Like the aesthetic of Mashle is pretty cool. I like the facial. It looks like a facial tattoo.
Yeah.
The little I'm calling it a scar, but it's like a facial tattoo that shows your magical.
It's kind of like a magic meter.
Yeah, it's well, yeah, because then there's some people that have the double line.
Yeah.
They have 2 lines on their face.
Right there.
Yeah, this overpowered guy, and then those people are even more powerful, right?
Yeah.
So it has some neat little world building in it, and to its credit, I'll give it that. I'll give it that credit for sure. And it's fun. It's stupid, dumb fun. That's exactly. If you like One Punch Man, you're gonna like Mashle.
Yeah.
It's satirical. It's dumb fun, especially if you want to see them take the piss out of like Magic Academy type animes, because that's literally what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the Quidditch match.
I don't know if I should get into this. I'll just get into it right off the bat. This is my biggest problem with Mashle. It is borderline copyright infringement. Like, legitimately, I don't know how they're not getting fucking sued for this. So, okay. It is so similar to Harry Potter in many ways, like the ideas and things they put in it. It is ridiculous. So, Mashle goes to a prestigious academy for magic. Hogwarts. It's literally fucking Hogwarts. Let me bring up the school. I mean, visually, it actually looks like Hogwarts. Like it's not even funny how similar it is to the Hogwarts school. I wish I could find a better image of this than the manga, but I guess that's pretty good. Yeah, okay. So there, yeah, that's the perfect shot right there. So there we go. So hold on a sec. Now let me look up Hogwarts. I mean, are you kidding me? Like, look, they even okay. So structurally, it looks the exact same, like even down to the towers. But then, like, look, they even have like the stone stairs that go down to the water. Like, it is literally Hogwarts.
Yeah.
How the fuck did they get away with that? Okay, so I have a whole list of things they ripped off from Harry Potter. That's just one. So they go to Hogwarts. At Hogwarts, they have different dorms. The dorms are rival dorms that compete in events and things like that. Does that sound similar to anything?
Well, come on, man. They didn't rip off Hufflepuff.
Right. So I guess that is the only difference that we have. What are they called in Harry Potter? They're not called dorms. The fuck are they called? Well, whatever. I found the image I wanted to. Houses. They're called houses. So in Hogwarts, there's Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Slytherin, Ravenclaw, that shit. So there's the different houses, which are just the different dorms, right? And in Mashle, there's also academy houses or dorms that compete. It's literally the same fucking thing. So they stole that. I mean, you're right. They only did 3 as opposed to 4, but it's like, okay. This is ridiculous. Let me look this up. This one blew my mind. I couldn't believe how much this was like ripping shit off. Okay, so is this the first or the second episode? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right early on in the show, one of the first things that happens is the characters, this is after Mashle's already in the academy, the characters are in flying class where they're learning to fly on brooms. They have a professor that looks exactly like McGonagall from Harry Potter, who in Harry Potter, they have this exact scene. So they have a professor that looks like McGonagall teaching them to use their brooms, and another character who is a rival, dare I say a lot like Draco Malfoy, challenges Mashle, who's clearly supposed to be the Harry Potter substitute, which is, it's like, what if Harry Potter didn't have magic?
Yeah.
And he challenges them to a flying match. It's literally right, like that scene, they just took that scene from Harry Potter and changed it to their characters, but it's literally Harry Potter. And then this is one of the other ones I got, that's one of the other, sorry, I got the list here. One of the other more egregious things they copied, let's talk about flying. Mashle has Quidditch.
Yep.
It is literally fucking Quidditch. Let me look this up. Whoops. Not even typing in. Yeah, literally. It's Quidditch. Look. It's fucking Quidditch. They're literally playing fucking Quidditch. They're playing Quidditch ball. Like, what do they call it? They call it duelo. It's Quidditch. Fuck you. Don't call it anything else. You're playing fucking Quidditch. So it's guys flying around on brooms, grabbing a ball and throwing the ball into a giant hoop. There's one hoop on each side.
Yeah.
Fucking Quidditch. The only difference is they didn't have the snipe. That was it.
Yeah.
So it's just Quidditch without the snipe. It's a less interesting version of Quidditch, I suppose. Like, how are they doing? How are you not getting sued? Last one I got. The episode with the screaming plant. Let me bring this up. So there's an episode in Mashle where it's very early on. It's like episode 4. So I didn't finish Mashle. I got like 5 or 6. It's like a cooking class. Right. Okay, right here. See this? That is just a mandrake from Harry Potter.
Yeah.
The screaming plant. So there's an episode where they have to do they're cooking, and they're cooking like spells or whatever. I don't know exactly, but they have to make a formula using a specific ingredient, which is a screaming plant. And the screaming plant is literally just it's literally just the fucking mandrake from Harry Potter. Like, here, let me look at this. Right. Okay. That and that. That and that. It's the same fucking thing. I know, but it's just like, I gotta shit on the show a bit because it's like, it's borderline just fucking copyright infringement. Yeah. Like, the problem is it's not clever. So like, we're gonna compare it to One Punch Man. One Punch Man builds its own world, and while there's like things they kind of rip off, nothing's that on the nose.
Yeah.
This is like, they take exact buildings and ideas and scenes even and just use them. Like, they don't even, like, that's too much. You can't just steal from other things and then, I don't know.
Yeah. No,
And
I get what you're saying.
It's too much. They steal too much in the show, and they don't do enough of their own shit in it. So that's my biggest gripe with Mashle is it takes way too much shit from Harry Potter. Like, it's stealing shit from Harry Potter, but at the same time has its own world building. Yeah. It's like, it should have just been kind of similar to Hogwarts, but everything else should have been original. But this is literally, the show is Harry Potter has no superpower or has no magic. That's
Yeah.
literally what the show is. In a lot of and he's a muscle, he's a meathead, you
Yeah.
know. But that's the end of my rant. What do you got?
Well,
what did you like? What didn't you like?
I like the
this is where
overall
you gush.
comedy of everything. For example, every time he walked into a room and ripped the bloody door off because he couldn't remember if it was push or pull.
That was a funny running joke. There's some funny.
Yeah.
There's stupid humor. It's stupid humor, but it's funny. Yeah,
Like there's
like
a
it's
scene
just dumb fun.
He literally blows a door off of its hinges and almost takes a guy's head off. And he's like, "Oh, I tried to knock.
Right.
Sorry."
One of the running jokes is Mashle isn't aware of how strong he is. So he's basically like Superman, not realizing he's Superman. So
Yeah.
he creates destruction just by doing the most inane things, everyday activities, but he like destroys shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but inadvertently.
Like then scenes like this one, for example, with the Mandragora,
Right.
where they're trying to make their potion or whichever it was.
And he keeps making cream puffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, how do you go from sautéing onions to making a bloody cream puff?
Right, because one of the running gags is that Mash is obsessed with cream puffs.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just like has a huge sweet tooth, so he's always trying to eat cream puffs and always
Yeah.
he's like obsessed with them. Yeah,
It's like, I don't know about you, but everywhere I go now, I keep a pocket cream puff.
like a pocket
Like-
cream puff. Yeah, the comedy works. The
Yeah.
comedy works, but
But I'm with you on the copyright infringement.
they just steal too much. It
Yeah.
goes too far. It goes too far. They need to do more of their own creative shit. Do you have anything else? That's all I got to say about Mashle. Do you have anything else to add?
No, not really. Just I liked the goofiness of it.
If you like silly, dumb fun,
Yeah.
if you're in for the ride of just dumb fun, then do you have any? Because you finished the season, did you not?
I did.
Do you have anything to say about like, it builds up for what could come? Like, are you excited for the next season, or do you give a
I mean,
fuck? Like, does it even matter? It's a joke show, anyways.
So I'm definitely curious about the direction they're going to take in the next season.
In case people are wondering, like, well, he has no magic. What does he fucking do? So he's so strong that he uses his he's so strong that he uses his strength to make it appear like he's using magic.
Yeah.
So in the broom race, he throws the broom and then quickly
Jumps
runs
onto
and
it.
jumps onto it. And then so it looks like he's flying, but he's not actually.
Yeah.
And then speaking of flying, in the Quidditch scene, he flaps his legs so quickly that he actually can use that to fly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's Saitama. Like, he's
Yeah.
that strong.
Well, like I like when he's fighting, for example, and he'll like pull his arm back for a punch, and he's triceps magic,
Yeah.
and then throws his
I
punch.
love that he calls his like muscle shit, like exercise shit, magic. Yeah,
And
even though it's not
everybody's
magic.
confused about what the hell he's doing.
And everybody gets confused because they're like, that's not actually, yeah. And I like that the shit that he does that's not magic, he tries to play it off as if it was magic. Yeah.
Like his entrance exam, there's like this exam, and the words are all moving around the page. The goal is to stop them from moving.
Right. And he just
like,
threatens it. He
"Stop."
he threatens the words. He intimidates them. Yeah.
like breaks a pencil, and the words just quit moving.
I'm trying
around
to think
the
what
page.
other like stupid shit he did in fights, because he did some other stuff that was really funny. Like, because he wins. So the fights are the funniest shit in
Yeah.
the show.
Well, there was one. Some guys after the coin because they use coins to track their points.
Yeah, to track the.
So-
there's another Harry Potter.
Yeah.
That's also from Harry Potter. The point system's from Harry Potter. Fuck.
Yeah. So the guy wants his coin, and he's being held by like someone else, a puppet or something. And he goes, "All right, if you want it," and he like flicks it and bounces it off the wall and like cuts the strings that were holding one of the puppets.
Right.
And then after he leaves the room, this man, he picks up the coin. He goes, "Wait, this is a button." And then it reveals some other person witnesses it. He pulled out the coin, and then within the span of a second, he puts the coin away, snatches a button off this guy's jacket, and flicks the button.
Right. Because that's how fast he can move,
Or-
right? Like
No,
can-
he sorry. He didn't tuck it in his jacket. He flicked the coin, sucked it back up into his mouth while ripping off the button and throwing it. That's what it was.
Yeah, he's able to do just
outrageous,
inhuman, like ridiculous god level physical feats because he's so strong. He's so strong. That's the running joke, right?
Yeah,
so he does shit that's like beyond ridiculous. Yeah.
So to say the least, the fights were fascinating.
I mean, because that's the funny part, because you get to see, because you go, okay, well, how is a guy with no magic going to fight a guy with magic? And the thing is, he's so strong that he's able to basically just bash any kind of spell they throw at him. Like if they throw daggers at him, he's so fast, he just catches all the daggers.
Yeah.
And then, like, it's that level of shit. That's how the show goes, you know?
Yeah.
If they were to create a stone wall, he just punched through the stone wall.
Yeah, quite literally.
It's literally a magician trying to fight Superman.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. It's like, so imagine a wizard tried to fight Superman. And that's what the fights turn into, you know? And it's funny, but yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
And that's the end of my list. Is that the end of your list?
Yeah, that's the end of mine.
That's it. That's all we got. We should wrap this up. Let's go through our recommendations. So this concludes our 2023 spring anime watch list. I only have one recommendation, and that is Heavenly Delusion. I'm going to recommend Heavenly Delusion. And I'll recommend Mashle if you want stupid, dumb fun. Fine, I'll give you a little asterisk on that. I stopped watching it. For me, I got enough out of it. But Heavenly Delusion, my number one pick for sure. Absolutely love that. I'm excited to see where that goes. Are you recommending everything you watched except that...
Magical Destroyers?
Magical
Absolutely.
Destroyers. So what are you recommending? Quick recap. What
I would recommend Dead Mount Deathplay.
Yep.
Mashle.
Yep.
Demon Slayer.
Specifically the new arc.
Specifically the new arc, yes. The Aristocrats' Otherworldly Adventure. I'm not going to read the rest of that name. It's way too long.
You got it.
And Hell's Paradise.
Beautiful.
And definitely take a pass on Magical Destroyers. You don't need it.
Yeah. And there we go. That wraps our first episode. Thank you for watching. If there's any animes that you want us to talk about or you feel we missed, by all means, sound off in the comments. I'm sure there'll be 10 million comments about every anime that we didn't watch.
Yep.
We're not going to be clear for future episodes. We're not going to watch every anime that gets released. We're not going to watch every anime of the winter anime list and the fall anime. We're only going to be watching the shit that interests us. So that's what you're getting. You're getting a snippet of what's out there. We're still trying to save you a lot of time and try to give you some good recommendations. But that's what this show is going to be. You got somebody who is an anime snob, and you got somebody who's more of a general audience member for anime. So you're going to get some different perspectives on what we liked, what we didn't like. But we're definitely not going to watch everything that's out there. We just can't. Yeah. Especially when it comes to anime, because there's just so much shit.
Yep.
Watch my video on it. I did a whole video on it. 90% of anime is shit. All right. Thanks a lot. Thanks for watching.